this gothic structure has attracted filmmakers, history buffs, and paranormal investigators since it began hosting visitors decades ago. What started as a revolutionary state organization crumbled into decay before being saved by passionate citizens. But just as passionate are the former inmates who refuse to leave. This week's episode is the Ohio State Reformatory.
A bump in the night, your heart fills with dread. Probably a murderer who wants you dead. It could be a ghost, a demon, or worse. Perhaps you're the victim of a witch's curse. It's hopeless, you're doomed. You'd call a priest if you could. You'd rather just listen to Sinisterhood.
What a time we had.
What a time we had. One of my all-time favorite movies is Shawshank Redemption. And to be at the prison where a lot of it was filmed, and they have leaned in. They have rooms are set up as if it was the actual office and the warden's office and stuff. Brooks's room was actually shot there.
Yeah.
So you get to see what that looked like. The tunnel that Andy had to dig through. Very interesting to find out the shit was made out of crushed up cookies and liquid and stuff. So it was all yummy stuff he was crawling through. So he really acted well to make it seem like he was crawling through a tunnel of shit.
Tim Robbins is amazing. He acts great. And they also have like Red's hat. They had, all kinds of, we got to sit in the warden's office. We sat in Andy Dufresne's chairs. We have photos and videos and stuff. I'm going to clip it all together for y'all on the Patreon. And the good thing about this show that we did in Cleveland, it's filmed. It was filmed, high definition filmed. And you're going to get to see it also if you join our Patreon. And it cuts to folks in the audience for Judge Christie. But this was an all-around really fun topic because we got to go to the place. And I think a lot of times with our topics, it's all well and good to read about it. We do a ton of research. We always try to do primary source research. But there's nothing more primary than being led through the halls of a haunted, ancient place by the head paranormal investigator, the head of the paranormal group. And we got that at Ohio State Reformatory with Hallie. She was phenomenal and came off like on an off day. She said, I'm not usually here during the daylight hours, which how fun that you're not only a ghost hunter, but you get to work at night in the spooky haunted prison. So she was phenomenal. It was like a 2-hour tour. Yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah, got lots of great info. Saw some very spooky rooms with creepy energy. Definitely felt one room that it was an energy shift. As soon as I walked up the stairs, I was like, oh. And then right after that, she goes, so this is a room where people report a lot of activity. I was like, I feel like there's an energy shift. Leanne had a big reaction in the solitary shower room, which we learned a lot of bad stuff went on down there, as one can imagine. So there was definitely a heavy presence, which really affected Leanne in that room. But yeah, it's a very cool and beautiful, what was once a prison. Now it's for tours and stuff, but also during Halloween, which we want to go back for. They turn part of it into a haunted house, and I can't think of anything scarier and more fun than a haunted house in a haunted prison. Very cool.
Oh, yeah. They call it Escape from Blood Prison, which I would watch that movie. Yeah. So,
pretty sure Sean Connery starred in that. Yeah. It was
Escape
awesome.
From Blood Prison.
But we had a great time at the prison. But then we left and found what several people told us about. And they're like, you're going to see signs for it. And then we saw it like a beacon in the night off the highway. Grandpa's Cheese Barn. If you're from the area, I'm sure you know it. It is just as magical as it sounds.
It is.
Gabe gave you some great recommendations for cheeses.
He did. We had some Leicestershire cheddar and some Asiago spread. And then I also got on my own, I got some Manchego cheese that I stuffed in my backpack and I kept and then recently ate. So it was
How
like
long
vacuum
was it
sealed.
In there?
Oh, no. It was vacuum sealed. We feel okay around here.
Okay. It was vacuum sealed, so that's okay.
It was a vacuum sealed hard cheese, and it'll be like, it's aged cheese. I'm like, well, that's just like 5 more days.
Yeah,
it's
you just
fine.
aged it more. Yeah.
And at every hotel we went to, I put it in the refrigerator. I know there's probably like food scientists listening right now. Like, Heather, throw away the Manchego. You've never been to Grandpa's Cheese Bar.
No.
I will never.
You can't throw it away.
No,
and
I
then
hate it all.
Sweeties, which is the chocolate and candy store right across from Grandpa's Cheese Bar. Got a lot of good stuff there. Got a lot of fudge. We had more snacks on this leg of the tour. At some point, I think we were all carrying 2 grocery sacks each into every hotel room we went into. So many snacks. They were so good, though. I'm still thinking about that Budweiser Wisconsin cheese spread that on those vegetable crackers.
You got to spread. When we would go to the hotels, we'd be like, we need a luggage cart. And it was not because of our luggage. It's because we had Trader Joe's bags full of cheese and Sweeties treats. So Cleveland and Ohio overall was very good to us, including Hilarities, where we shot this.
Oh, yeah.
We got some really good snacks beforehand. And again, they gave us amazing audio, amazing HD video. As Christy said, we look like we're on a soap
We
opera.
do.
So
it was
clear.
a great room. One of our favorite rooms we've played.
Oh, yeah.
It was very cool. Just the space. It was felt very intimate, and like we said, it felt like kind of like the Copacabana or something. You felt like you were
cabaret.
back in the like 70s days of those fun, but it was very well kept and nicer than that. But it was a great room. Everyone there was super nice. So if you're from the area, check out other shows there too, because it's a very cool space.
Yeah, we had a great time there, and we cannot wait to come back someday. But until then, you can feel like you were there because we have this wonderful footage. And if you're like, I don't know if I want to go to a live show, I don't know if I want to listen to a live show, guess what? This is the highest you could, if you go on the Patreon, the video. I mean, like my grandmother would say when we would show her pictures of going on a trip, she'd go, I felt like I was there. And it's Baby's debut, so.
It is Baby's debut. If nothing else, go for Baby.
Baby, so
and this, you'll see the evolution of Baby, because now Baby is clothed, and this was pre-clothes. So, and we've also now added several other little friends for Baby on the table.
Baby has friends, and now Baby has a legit stand that's like metal with magnets. It's very high tech. So we've got a baby Mothman between us to keep us entertained. I really did love this trip, though, and I would love to go back at night. And like she said, when they do overnight visits and bring, not that we have any equipment, we can bring our friend Nelson from Raleigh.
It's true.
Which you'll meet Nelson in a later episode. But Nelson and the Ghost Guild were such great hosts in Raleigh, and they are expert ghost investigators. So we need them on the case, and we'll all go back to the Ohio State Reformatory. And Lil Wayne recorded a music video.
True.
So fun fact.
He did. You can see that. It's very obvious which cell it was in because everything is spray painted gold, including the toilet.
And she's like, this wasn't original, the place. The other really cool thing about our trip there is that places that she took us were places that are not on public tours. And then we walk into one of the rooms, and she was like, we don't show this to the public. There is a significant amount of asbestos in here.
Or watch out for the raccoons.
There's raccoons in the basement, in the attic. They're everywhere. So
yeah,
we had a really fun time, though, and we think you'll have a really fun time listening to it because we get pretty tickled throughout. And I love that you added in not just we cover the history of the Ohio State Reformatory, but you add in a badass neighbor of the prison who I had heretofore never heard of.
Icon.
And the fact she's an icon. She's much like one of our Atlanta topic that you'll hear someday. She's a fucking icon, and you love her. You love her so much when you learn about her. So
you will. Also, this Judge Christie features one of my favorite ones. Very heated discussion over the Dyson vacuum.
I have an update.
Oh,
we're no longer beefing because the repair was successful.
Nice.
However, thoughts and prayers to our friend who was also angry at the Dyson because I don't think their issue was repair related. Mine was. So,
yes. Theirs was just
in the video,
it sucks, and not.
If I'm not mistaken, that is one of the ones where the camera cuts back and forth to us in the audience.
Oh,
so
good.
It's an embracing experience.
Yes, I wish every club filmed it like that because
Hilarities
when he was like,
through.
we can film it if you want, we're like, oh yeah, and then we saw it, we're like, good Lord,
holy shit,
it's amazing. Yeah, it was awesome.
Shout out
Can't
to
wait to go
Hilarities.
back. Everybody there was super nice. Loved meeting everybody in the meet and greet. So thank you so much if you came to the show and if you brought someone that had never been there before. always appreciate that.
That's very fun. And definitely, if you have a chance in Ohio, go visit the Reformatory. You donate to its preservation. We did a donation while we were there, and we bought a shit-ass load of merch because they have Shawshank stuff, and then they just straight up have prison merch, including a really dope crew neck sweatshirt that we both have that's black with the gold logo that says Ohio State Reformatory. So
Heather got it. I did not know she'd got it. And because I always have FOMO when it comes to souvenirs, we get back to the hotel. I was like, she put it on that night. I go, where'd you get that? As if, where would she have got it? And I was like, oh, I didn't see that. I want one. So I have this rule that, because everyone's like, just order it online. I'm like, it's not the same. I want to be at the place to get it. This also happened to me in Nashville. But I made a rule, if I order it while we're still there,
technically it counts.
In the city, it still counts. So immediately I went on, I ordered it from the Reformatory. They sent it, I got it within 2 days.
Good
and
God.
I know, it was so fast. And there was a handwritten note from them that was like, thank you so much for your purchase. We really appreciate it. It was so, like, because it's all run by people that just really want to help preserve this historic building, they're just so appreciative of any type of donation, and all the money, you know, goes back into helping preserve it. And they were actively restoring things while we were there. And Hallie said they're making their way from the front to the back, and we saw some rooms that hadn't been touched yet. So it'd be really interesting to go back in a few years and see how that was changed, specifically the toilet room, which is just where they have all of the toilets that they had to remove from the cells.
Yeah, and they were going to gut the place and dump it, but they repaired it, and then we got to visit it, and now you can feel like you were there too. And you know where else you can be? At any of our future live shows by going to sinisterhood.com/live shows, and then you can feel like you were there and actually have been there, and then relive it later.
Wonderful.
Hello, welcome. Greetings to all of you in the audience and to my friends that I made in the bathroom right before the show. I always love seeing people. I'm like, I want to hang out with you, but I had to go to the bathroom right before the show.
Oh, welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
Oh, we have loved Ohio so
We've
far.
had such a great time in Ohio.
Amazing
Such
time.
friendly people that live here.
Everybody has been so nice. We love it so much. We drove up from Columbus. We made a stop on the way in Mansfield. We made a second stop, though.
Ashland?
We stopped in Ashland.
What's in Ashland? Yes, it
Grandpa's Cheese Barn. That's right.
It is. And Doug gave us...
My guy was Gabe.
Gabe?
I had Gabe. Gabe's Rex. You got to get Gabe's Rex when you go. Gabe
He gave us all the lowdown.
I think he's the cheese boss. Can't be sure. But he stopped me and was, again, very friendly. Everyone in Ohio, very friendly. He said, what can I help you with? And I said, I need you to tell me, what if I left here without it, I would be committing an actual crime. And he said, I got you. He didn't even pause. He was like, come over here. Goes behind, gets me some Leicestershire English cheddar cheese. I was like,
It's now in our hotel room.
My arms were in the air. Like I was like, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
So good.
And he gave me some Asiago cheddar dip. It was so good.
Then we went
so
across to Sweeties.
good. We did. Annie at Sweeties was
Annie,
giving us the fudge.
great.
She gave us all the fudge.
Got the lowdown on why it's called Sweeties, the whole family backstory.
Oh, yeah. She was like, Ma, there is a real grandpa and a real grandma. So if y'all ever thought that this was some shtick, some sort of a scam, no. Grandma and Grandpa are real.
They're very real people.
They're very real. And Grandpa called Grandma Sweetie, and that's why they call the fudge shop Sweeties. I know. I mean, the implication
Almost
is
as sweet as the fudge they serve.
so sweet.
Yes,
So
it was great. But let's just talk about what is really happening tonight.
yes, you may have noticed Baby is on
This is
stage.
Baby. Baby was given to us last night by some listeners, and it's a baby Mothman. These are available for sale on I don't remember
I
the
think it's
Etsy.
Etsy.
It's on Etsy, but this is handmade.
Yeah, if you type in handmade Mothman baby doll, like probably not a ton of results.
This is what's going to happen, and Baby is now traveling with us. And he's our little mascot now.
Yes, Baby is also being sat up by a binder clip because Baby wasn't feeling it. Baby was slumping over.
Baby could not. Baby has not learned how to control his neck muscles on his own. So
it's
to give him a little booster seat. Yes. Oh, well, you guys, we had quite a tour today, and we can't wait to tell you about it.
Oh, yeah, so much. We did you'll hear about the Shawshank stuff, about the ghost stuff. Hallie was so nice to host us. She is head of all their paranormal programs, which... coolest job ever. Like, your job is she's like, I host ghost hunts, and then I talk about the ghosts and talk to the spirits, and I was like, I love it so much. She said she's been into it since she was 13. I'm like,
the fact that the whole prison has a paranormal department that someone has to be the head of.
Yes.
It's pretty great.
Mad respect. Because you could just go, no, we're all about history here. They're like, there's a bunch of ghosts. Yeah. And she's going to tell you about it.
She's like, next weekend we're hosting Parapsychon.
Yes.
Which is paranormal psychic convention. They lean in.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. Yes.
Yeah, and Evanescence will be there. So
yes, Evanescence is performing. Yeah. Which Hallie was very excited about.
Me too.
Yeah. Who wouldn't be? Yeah. Well, we got a lot to get to
covering it, man.
Get to covering.
There's
so I'm Christy.
I'm Heather.
And let's get into it. Woohoo! The Cleveland Clinic, the Cleveland Browns, the birthplace of rock and roll. We all learned from the song, later used as the theme to the Drew Carey Show, that Cleveland rocks. This shining city on Lake
Erie.
I only paused because, and we've done so many outlines, that there is another Lake Erie in an outline we're doing that isn't pronounced Erie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I paused. But this is the
Lake
Erie
right?
that I know.
Give us a holler.
Okay.
Once you start traveling, last night we were in Columbus, and the very nice gentleman in the sound booth beforehand, I was getting ready to read the intro, and I said, Columbus is the capital of Ohio, right? And he went, yeah. And he goes, but it's better to check before you embarrass yourself. And I was like, thank you. He was so kind. He was like, of course, yeah, absolutely. He wasn't like, duh. He was like, yeah. So we start
very nice.
We want to make sure we pronounce it right.
Yeah, well, this is the Lake Erie we all know. The shining city on Lake Erie is home to botanical gardens and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is the birthplace of icons like Steve Harvey, Bob Hope, and Halle Berry. But another of Cleveland's native sons would be responsible for an iconic structure located just south of the city limits. A structure made so ornate, so complex, and so powerful that it would play host to lost souls, both living and dead, for centuries. Designed by Cleveland architect Levi Schofield, the Ohio State Reformatory, or OSR, opened its doors in Mansfield, Ohio in 1896. The castle-like limestone building was under construction beginning in 1886, opened its doors to its first inmate 10 years later, and remained under construction until 1910. Initially, the OSR was called the Intermediate Penitentiary and was intended to house inmates that were too old for juvenile correction, but whose crimes weren't severe enough to warrant being sent to the Ohio State Penitentiary. As the years went on, this would change drastically.
Yeah, Hallie told us initially, she goes, it's for kids that, stole something maybe, and you don't want to throw them in the slammer with a bunch of hardened criminals. But then later, the hardened criminals were thrown in the slammer with them.
Yeah.
So it's there was a shift.
Rather than punish its inmates, the goal of the facility was to
reform and rehabilitate
those who passed through its gates, according to the Mansfield Reformatory Preservation Society. The inmates were sentenced in 18-month increments. During their time inside its walls, the inmates were to receive religion, get an education, and learn a trade. If they showed sufficient progress during their first 18 months, they were released. If not, they were sentenced to another 18 months.
And we saw they accommodated
chapel,
all types of religions.
And we said we would become the most pious people ever if it meant we got to come to chapel every day and not be in ourselves.
Yep, they were like, the library is air conditioned. I was like, I will read every book in this library.
Cover to cover.
Every single book. And then, I was like, you could go to chapel, you could go to class, you could go to learn a trade. I was like, of course, this would be the best prison.
I'd learn everything.
Yeah, because it's awesome. You learn a trade, you get, some camaraderie with your fellow inmates.
She said that if they worked it right, the inmates were only in their cells for like 8 hours, which is when you're
Sleeping.
Trying to sleep. I don't know if you are sleeping, but it wasn't air conditioned except for the library. And y'all know that Heather and I, we're not about that. So
Trying to get that AC.
That alone is enough. That's like scared straight for me. When people do scared straight for teens, they're like, you wouldn't have AC for 2 years. I'm like, I'm done. I won't do anything ever again. I can't take it.
No.
She said they would smuggle rocks from the yard and then throw them out their cells to the glass windows to just get like holes in it so air would come in. But the flip side is, I guess y'all have pretty rough winters, and then it would get real cold.
You're like, I'm so hot, I don't even care. And then in January, they're like, I've made a huge mistake.
Throughout its earlier days of operations, the reformatory touted a high success with its approach, as it saw lower recidivism rates compared to other facilities. The reformatory also played an important part in the community, as it provided steady work for those living nearby.
Yeah, Hallie said it was majority factories around, and she was like, factories could come and go, but the reformatory was always there.
And they, the warden and his wife and children, they all live there. And we're like, so they just live here, and like this door is the only thing separating them from the inmates? She's like, yeah. And I go, did the kids ever see the inmates? She's like, sometimes they let them like take them to school. And we're like, what?
They had
they had a trustee program where the best inmates could like walk the warden's dog or take their kids to school or water their plants. I'm like, but take their kids to school is totally different.
And she said one of them dropped the kids off, got in the car, and just drove away and kept going. And I was like, and were we shocked?
But then he pulled over and felt so guilty, he called the prison and said, I messed up.
I'm in Indiana. Come get me. Either that or he got to Indiana and he was like, nah, I'll take prison. Send me back. Send me back.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, we vet babysitters pretty hard. And, I don't know if how I guess if you're just there for like a minor offense, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's we'll get
or
to
you're
it.
like, hey, you've been a little shithead lately, so Carl's gonna take you to school today.
Don't try anything. Carl's like,
they're like, Carl, okay. When construction was complete, the prison was home to the world's tallest freestanding steel cell block, consisting of 6 tiers, 12 ranges, which is one big common area cell that all of the individual prisoner cells open into, and 600 cells, according to the Preservation Society. When inmates arrived on site, they were stripped of their clothes and their name. Instead, they were assigned numbers and were known only by these throughout the duration of their stay, according to former inmate DJ Fly, who was interviewed on Ghost Adventures.
I never really figured out if his name was like Dustin John Fly or if he graduated from the reformatory and became a DJ. They're like, we have construction programs and woodworking and DJ programs. So
we'll take DJing. We did ask Hallie if she was there when Ghost Adventures filmed, and she said yes. And then we said, did you meet Zach? And she said yes. And we said, what are they really like? And she goes, Aaron is exactly like you would think. And we said, but what about Zach? And she said, he's really quiet. So it's a character is what we found out.
She said he's like soft-spoken, really kind and sweet and just very deferential and quiet. I'm like, and then the camera's rolling. He's like, I'm going to beat you, ghost. Like, what is happening?
We also discovered last night that he dated
Holly
Madison, the Playboy Playmate, for like 2 years. And Heather goes, how did nobody tell us this? So, like, it was everybody's responsibility to tell us this happened.
I got 0 DMs. They recently broke up. I'm like, nobody even told me that they broke up. I missed the whole relationship.
We didn't even know they were together. Now we got to go back in 2 years.
I got to read old TMZ articles.
They met at a paranormal conference or at his museum in Vegas.
Museum. Yeah, they met at his museum.
Man, Who knew?
You're going through and he's like, don't touch the Dybbuk box. But I have something you can't touch. And they go back behind the curtain.
Although they were given opportunities to work on the on-site farm, the inmates did not have much in the way of entertainment. They were given only a single radio that played the prison's radio station, which played Christian and country music. The institution was... Somebody just went,
Oh.
Well, that's the other thing.
Like, that's what sucks about prison.
Well, the other thing, she was like, some of them got radio privileges, but sometimes the summer was so hot they would take their radios and throw them through the window. And I'm like,
Just
for
to
like
get air.
heat or because the music sucked? We're like, what did they play? And she was like, it was just, that's it. I was like, yeah, you're like, I'm
And I
burning
go,
hot.
so they throw it through the window, or she said they would also throw it through the window, but they would first take like tinfoil to make an antenna so they would get different stations. And I said, but then it's just playing all the time. She was like, yep. Mm-hmm. Like, that would drive me. I would be like, I need to go the
No
whole.
wonder you throw
I
it.
cannot handle a radio on constantly 24/7.
No, you get hot. It's the 70s. You're just, all you have is country music. You're like, fuck Conway Twitty. You just like throw it like a football through the window.
The institution was self-sufficient and boasted its own power plant and working farm. Inmates produced goods in its workshop that it shipped to other state institutions.
And we learned it was mattresses, furniture, and shoes,
Mm-hmm.
which because they shipped the shoes to other prisons, they didn't put the address on it because they didn't want inmates to try to send letters to each other. They would just have like diamonds or circles or stars. And one inmate decided he was going to escape in the shoebox, but he didn't know what all the symbols meant. They kept it from them. So he climbs in the shoebox. He tells his buddies, nail me shut. I'm getting out of here. They drive him out. They undo the shoebox lid. He gets out. He is at the more stringent maximum security prison. And they go, well, we're not sending you back. And he was like, son of a... I was like, no, man, the shoe wasn't the way to go.
Mm-mm. During the earlier 20th century, locals would come have picnics on the prison's public park grounds. The beautiful landscaping was kept pristine by the inmates. When asked whether the locals ever worried about their safety while laying out in a blanket near the correctional facility, City Council President Virginia Imhoff told the Springfield News-Sun,
I don't think that's entered anyone's mind.
that'd be the first thing that entered my mind.
You know, I'm not saying it's inherently dangerous.
But it
But
would
it is.
cross my mind.
Yeah, you consider it. It's just like going, well, we went to the ocean and we didn't think there would be a shark. It's like there's a low likelihood, but it's not impossible.
But it's still like bubbling in the back of your mind. You're like, I could get eaten by a shark if I go out on this boat.
You never know. I like to consider all options. I haven't been tested, but I might have anxiety because I think of really dumb scenarios of like, this could absolutely, like we were in the plane and we were sitting over the wing and I was like, screws could just fall out of that thing. That's not, no, but they could.
Yeah?
But they could. One of the windows could just suck out. You don't know. They could. It's unlikely. So
No one needs to test you for anxiety, Heather.
just let it enter your mind. Just let it enter.
She's got it. She's got it.
Turns out.
Also, the other night at the hotel, she
Aw.
goes, you think those smoke alarms ever go off? And we're like, I don't know. Well, at 8:30 in the fucking morning, it went off because Heather manifested it.
My bad.
And I was dead asleep, and I'm like, what is happening? And I hear her and Leanne in the hallway, and I open the door, and I'm just like, she goes, we're going to go downstairs and see if everything is okay. You just stay here, and we'll let you know. And I was like, thanks. And then she just texted and was like, it's fine. Go back to bed. I put on my noise-canceling headphones, and I was like, I'm not putting on a bra and going downstairs if I don't need to.
You're on the second floor. If it did burn down, you'd
Yeah,
have made it out.
I have
You're
time.
fine. Although it was going off, and it was like, do not use the elevators if the alarm is going off. And I was like, I'm not going to take the stairs.
At the prison, when we were walking, we had to walk up a lot of stairs today.
It's great. They're good-looking stairs.
They're very nice, and it's incredible how much has been preserved and is original. And it's I was like, imagine how many people have stood on this floor, like, including Tim Robbins.
Hell yeah.
But when we were walking up the stairs, she's like, you'll notice everything else is wood, but the stairs are steel because they don't have elevators. So if there was a fire, the stairs had to be made out of steel so they wouldn't burn up. Okay. So like everything else could have collapsed, but the stairs were still there.
That's all we got.
And I was like, that's genius. I wouldn't have thought of that.
No, never.
That's why I'm not an architect or an engineer.
That's why.
That's one of many reasons why I'm not. I'm an idea person, but when it comes to like actual like logistics, I'm like, I don't
Like
know.
latex gloves irritate my skin. That's why I'm not a doctor. That's why.
During the mid-20th century, societal notions toward criminal justice shifted from a rehabilitative approach to a more punishment-based approach. It was at this time that the reformatory was turned into a maximum security prison. Dan Seckel of the Preservation Society told the Springfield News-Sun,
"A lot of people who take the tour now say their parents drove them by here when they were young, and they told them if they weren't good, they'd end up here."
That's parenting. There's nothing wrong. That's what you do.
My mom never told me I would go to prison. She would go, "If you're bad, everyone in here will look and think I'm a bad mother."
So you went to the prison of guilt, yes, is where you were. Got sentenced. She also, Hallie said that a lot of, not a lot, but that inmates will come back that were there and do tours. Mm-hmm. And she said one time a guy came through and he went through the whole tour, and at the end he was like, "By the way, I used to live here." It's
like undercover boss.
Yeah. Like, what have they done with the place? Yeah. But I imagine, I don't know if it'd be cool. I can't say it's cool because I can't speak to that, but it'd be interesting to go back and be like, yeah, this is where I was. Unless it was very traumatic, and then probably not.
Yeah, I think if it was pre-1960, it might be less horrific. And
if you were going to DJ school, then it was fine. After that, you probably don't want to go back and visit. Mm-mm. At its peak, the reformatory, by then a hardcore prison, housed 2,000 inmates at once. Because of the overpopulation, inmates would have to double up in the cramped 9 by 7 by 8 foot cells. Disease spread like wildfire in the overcrowded conditions, and many inmates died of influenza or tuberculosis.
Yeah, it is close quarters in there.
It's real close. I think it's actually more of a 5 by 7 is what she even said. And seeing it in person now, yeah. And it's like, I mean, it's 5 by 7. There's two.
So you use a measuring tape.
There's two wire bunks. And then in some, she goes, "Don't sit on those. Those are the original mattresses." And Heather goes, and it looked like the original mattress. And then in the corner, within arm's reach of your bed, is your toilet. So there's zero privacy. It's just, it's rough. Yeah,
I touched that mattress. Oh no! She also mentioned that it's all lead paint, and they didn't. Yeah, they never scraped. They never scraped the paint before they painted over it, so it just painted over and over and over, and it's now peeling in some areas. And she's like, "Yeah, it's all lead paint, so wash your hands real good when you leave." And I'm only now realizing I didn't do that, and then I ate a bunch of cheese with my hands. So that's fun.
As the prison reached, what did you say?
Lead.
Oh, you got lead.
I ate lead.
You got lead.
Maybe that's why I thought that cheese Gabe gave me was so good. I was like, I gotta get more of this.
As the prison reached max capacity, systems also began to fail. The building would often find itself without working heat or water, leading to inmates filing lawsuits, according to the Mansfield News-Journal. They claimed being forced to shower with cold water in the winter, then forced to stand outside in temperatures as low as 20 degrees Fahrenheit, was tantamount to cruel and unusual punishment. And that is correct.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Hallie said, actually, it wasn't completely this lawsuit, but the lawsuit was largely responsible for closing the doors of the prison, which was good because, I mean, I don't want to be in something from 1930 that hasn't been meaningfully updated. Like, think about it. If you're in a car that hasn't been meaningfully updated.
If we're driving around in 1930 cars, that's probably not safe.
Yeah, I mean, it's
as safe as it could be.
No. A lot of them don't have roofs. You're going to go.
Like a convertible?
Yeah. Back then. Like a horseless carriage.
People still have convertibles.
But the glass goes up a little higher. There's maybe more metal around your body.
Ella's obsessed with convertibles right now.
Is she really?
And she was like, "Can we get one?" And I said,
"Hell yeah.
No."
Come on, Mom. Don't be boring.
Yeah. We'll get a convertible for our two children.
You can get a sunroof. Get a car with a sunroof. That's a good compromise.
That's a good compromise. We did see several shower rooms, which they called the car wash, because the inmates would go in, they would hang up their clothes on like a row of hooks on the wall, and then down the whole room at the top was a pipe with like shower heads coming off. But you didn't just stand there and like bathe. You got on one end and you just walked down as the water just pelleted you until you got to the end.
Yeah, you had to walk and wash.
And she said that many times their uniforms would get stolen because you only got 2 uniforms. And if you had just been issued a new one and then you hung it up, by the time you got done, somebody would have taken it and replaced it with their uniform.
I like to think I'm a smart person. And then I asked her, I said, what about like the different sizes of uniforms? And she was like, yeah, no, they're all one size.
One
I was like, oh, my bad. I was like, they're like tailored
They didn't
to each
ask
person.
like,
She was like,
your measurements when you came in and give you specific tailored
all right,
uniforms.
My bad. That's on me.
Inmates facing further punishment inside the prison were put in solitary confinement, also known as the hole. These inmates were held in the dark, windowless cells with only the Gideon Bible to keep them company. We went down there, and it's dark. And it is not a place I would ever want to spend any amount of time.
No, and it's windowless, like they say, and
It's like you're in a cave.
And the basement part is where the showers were, and it's very dark. And she said they do a lot of activity and that they've seen, shadow figures standing in the hallway coming towards the door. She said someone had their hands in their hoodie pocket and was talking with their back turned to the door and felt a hand slide over their hand into the hoodie pocket. And she thought, oh, my boyfriend's here. And she turned around and there was no one there. So we were in there and we're all getting chills. Can we go? Because it was one of those rooms where you're like, oh, this is oppressive energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of them had like regular cell doors, but other ones were just like you see in the movies, straight up all steel, and they would put their food through a little slot. And she said if the inmate was protesting and refused to eat, then the guards would make them what they called the loaf, which is they took all the leftovers of the other inmates and baked it into a loaf, and then that's what they would feed you until you finally agreed to eat again. Yeah.
I think that the loaf isn't a way to get somebody to eat, but
I guess if you get hungry, and I think it's a power play.
Yeah, I think it's a power play.
I don't think, yeah. Conditions in the hole reached an all-time low in the late 1930s after inmates in the East Cell Block started a riot. As punishment, the reformatory prison guards forced 120 inmates into 12 solitary confinement cells. A cell meant for 1 or 2 was now filled with 10 violent criminals. For 7 days, the men were not allowed to leave their cells or given any food or water. Several lives were lost that week after inmates reached their breaking points and turned on one another. Others took their own lives to escape the hellish conditions.
I mean, being down there, I can't imagine one person in each solitary cell, much less 10.
I don't even know. I mean, it would be like shoulder to shoulder. You wouldn't be able to even move.
No, I don't think. And I asked because I said, there's one single bed in the solitary cells and they're pretty small. And I said, when you doubled people up, how did they sleep? And she was like, either one person didn't sleep or one person slept on the ground. And I said, by the time you put 10 people in one cell, it's not solitary anymore.
Yeah,
solitary is literally you're supposed to be by yourself.
It's a holding pen. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and the one reason they started this riot is because the other prison had this huge fire, and it was the maximum security prison. So all the inmates from there didn't have anywhere to go. So that's why they dumped them into the reformatory prison, and now you've got like an 18-year-old kid that's in there for stealing something in the same cell with a guy that's like killed 10 people. And everybody's just trying not to eat that loaf.
Right.
And get out alive.
Running out of space, she showed us an area that was an attic, and that the attic was turned into bunk areas. And there's still, if you are in the area and you haven't been, definitely go. It's a phenomenal tour.
It's very cool.
Because there's they've written their names on the wall. They've done tic-tac-toe on the wall.
They've carved, there's prisoner numbers and their names carved into the rock and everything.
Or counting down days and things like that. And she said in that area, that's where the majority of the transfer inmates came from, the prison that burned down. And she said sometimes during the ghost hunts you can smell the smoke because that's where they were initially housed, and there was a lot of negative energy, and it's also just pitch dark, and there was one light switch, and when you switch the one light switch off, it was very dark. Leanne came with us, and she was filming for us and being very brave and walked down into a little side room. And Hallie said, you need to be careful of that room. And we're like, oh, spirits. And she was like, no, there's raccoons and they're aggressive. She was like, they're very aggressive.
She goes, I get scared of a lot of things walking around here at night, but the raccoons, they're huge. No. She's like, people don't believe me, and then they'll come and do ghost hunts, and I'll say, watch out for the raccoons. And they're like, whatever. And then one person set up a camera and all they caught was a giant raccoon on the camera. I'm like, that would terrify. And then I told Heather about,
Please tell the story.
she doesn't listen to the show, it's fine. An old coworker of mine many years ago, she was quirky, and she told us about the time she got attacked by a raccoon because she was walking through the forest at night, and her rationale of why this raccoon ran across the land and attacked her was because she was on her period and it could sense that. She had a scar on her arm and everything. I'm like, Olivia, I don't think they know that stuff, but maybe, I don't know.
I said once a month, those raccoons go wild.
Every 28 days, if you're on your cycle, do not go to the Ohio Reformatory because you're going to get mauled to death by these giant raccoons.
Sinisterhood will be right back.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than watching my kids' imaginations. They are both, even Simon at 17 months is so creative, and Ella is so funny and creative, and anything that fuels their curiosity and deepens their connection to their imagination and the world, I am totally on board with, and Little Passports does just that. They have the most amazing hands-on activities.
When you said they offer globally inspired award-winning kits with hands-on activities, you said Ella made a volcano the other day.
She did. She made a volcano, and then after it dried, because it was like this foam, and they decorated it with this green fuzz they give, so it looked very authentic. And then the science aspect of it is they send you all the little things to make it, blow up inside, so you get to have fun, but while they're also learning like this element and this element, when you combine them, it has this reaction. So it's very fun.
Perfect for your little scientists.
Each month, Little Passport sends a kit packed with play-based activities, interactive crafts, puzzles, games, and stories to help kids have fun while they learn about the world around them.
You got the volcano, solar-powered robot, Spanish mosaic, animal friends in the Serengeti. Doesn't matter. Kids ages 3 to 10 will love learning with Little Passports.
And each kit contains activities that are perfect for their age group and match their interests. So you get like 3 to 5 and then the next age group. And they also have this cute little suitcase where they can keep stuff in. And it looks like a little suitcase you would travel with their little passport. It's very cute.
It makes a perfect gift for parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, godparents, and educators.
Choose from month-to-month, 6 months, or 12-month subscriptions, whichever is right for you, and you can stop anytime.
Share the world with your little explorers. With Little Passports, there's always something new to discover.
For listeners of the show, Little Passports is offering new customers 20% off when you go to littlepassports.com/creepy.
That's 20% off when you go to littlepassports.com/creepy. littlepassports.com/creepy. You know what I don't want to do with our very limited, precious free time on tour? Go have to sit in a salon and watch a show that I don't want to watch and have my hands held, and I can skip that and stay home and do my own nails, and they're going to look like I had to sit in the salon because of Olive and June.
You know what I can't do at 1 a.m.? Go to a salon and get a pedicure. But you know what I can do is give myself my own pedicure at 1 a.m. because that's the time that it works for me with this badass Olive and June pedikit.
And if y'all need a refresher, here's why Olive and June is freaking amazing. With the Olive and June Mani system, you can treat yourself to beautiful nails all year long at any time of day or night.
Their nail polish lasts 7+ days and it does not chip. For real, it does not chip. Their Mani system is the ultimate secret behind salon perfect nails at home. All in one, no guessing, no messy nails, no salon price tag.
And it travels with us. It all comes in the bag.
It
we
does.
have been known to paint our nails in the green room.
Oh, many times. Yes. Also, Ella loves it. And they have these tiny little stickers that you can put on your nails, which we got a lot of summertime theme ones right now. Flowers. She's got some that like are popsicles and cotton candy and lollipops. So they even work for little nails too. And because their nail polish is super safe, you can use it on kids as well.
Well, I suggest getting the Olive and June Mani system with 6 polishes. Breaks down to just $2 per mani. I used to spend $35 or more for one gel mani.
Getting beautiful salon perfect nails at home is now a dream come true with Olive and June.
Your new nail life is here. Visit oliveandjune.com/sinister for 20% off your first mani system.
That's OLIVEANDJUNE.com/sinister for 20% off your first mani system.
I told you the other day I was rocking some Sweet Molly joggers. They got some cool sunset stripes down the side from Faraday. And now I also have 2 button-down shirts you're about to see me wear while I travel. I like to do a t-shirt with a button-down over it. And I got the perfect ones from Faraday. And it's really hard to find outfits in this time of year, but weather changes, whatever. But with Faraday, makes it easy. They got clothes for all seasons.
That's amazing. Faraday is a family-run brand making high-quality, timeless clothing with modern design and functionality.
It's that kind of effortless style you want every time you go to dig in your closet. It's a set, a shirt, a dress, something that you feel like you've had for years, but you just got it. It's brand new, good-looking prints. They look vintage, but it fits really well. It's like brand new. That's Faraday for you.
It looks like it's vintage, but it feels like it was made for your body, not somebody else's that you had to buy in a vintage store.
Yeah, it's like a crisp, nice button down. It's tailored towards me. I mean, it's going to look great when I go on tour. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I like to get on an airplane and have them be like, okay, she's a advanced traveler, not like, look at this scrub that just
she knows what she's doing. She's going places. Faraday's so confident in the quality of their stuff, they have a lifetime guarantee of quality. They'll replace or fix your clothes forever, no matter what. Talk about making it easier to get dressed.
Head to FaradayBrand.com/creepy and use code creepy at checkout to snag 20% off all your new spring staples.
That's code creepy at Faraday, FAHERTY, brand.com/creepy for 20% off. FaradayBrand.com/creepy.
What were you just looking up?
I was trying to find a photo of some of the scratchings on the wall.
Oh, I took a lot on my phone, but I don't have it with me.
No, I have it on my Google Photos. Okay. Continue. I'll see if I can find one.
Okay. In 1938, a guard was killed in the hole after he was clubbed over the head with a plumbing pipe, according to former guard Ike Webb. Webb, who served as guard in the prison from 1954 to 1966, told a Travel Channel film crew,
"Every day there was some kind of violence.
Inmates threw one another over low railings from the cell block's soaring heights, or attacked one another, or guards, with weapons like makeshift knives and lead plumbing pipes. We saw a whole display of shivs
that had been
collected, and she's like, you can make shivs a lot of ways. We're like, we see that, Hallie. There's like a toothbrush with, they gave them razor blades? She's like, yeah, to shave. Well, then, yeah, they're going to use them. That's a weapon.
But also maybe watch what they do with them. But also, it was, it's a nice glass display case. There was maybe 6 or 8 shivs in there, and she's like, we got thousands more. There's like a whole closet of them. I was like, oh, God. Yeah, I guess you can really there's only so many.
They would use, silverware, like spoons and stuff, and just grind them down on the stone or whatever, or take a razor blade and use gum to attach to the end of a toothbrush. You get creative and then what was that quote from one of the inmates on the wall?
There was a lot of stabbers.
Yeah. It just said there was a lot of stabbers, an inmate. Like instead of anonymous, it was just an inmate.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta keep your head on a swivel.
In one particularly gruesome incident, guards discovered an inmate was missing while conducting their morning rounds. As a search for the prisoner ensued, his body was found
stuffed beneath a bunk.
According to the Ohio State Reformatory website, the man had been beaten to death by his cellmate. Well, when you shove 5 men in there...
Yeah, I mean, it's a recipe for disaster.
Recipe for disaster.
You're pushing people to the brink, absolutely. I think it's...
That are already at their brink.
On a more serious note. I mean, I think this is the trajectory of this prison, and while things weren't great in the 30s, but when you see there is more of the reformative idea of justice versus the retributive type of justice, you see that the violence escalated a lot when things turned retributive and went away from, let's get our GEDs, let's get college credit, let's learn a trade or something like that. The stories just really ramp up, and I think the violence and a lot of the now paranormal activity that they feel is more from that era when it was a lot more violent and more angry and punishment.
Negative energy. Webb cautioned that life inside the reformatory's walls required the utmost vigilance. Warning.
If you let your guard down just once, it could be over.
The guards had to be incredibly strict to keep the prisoners in line and maintain safety. Webb told the Springfield News-Sun that they could feed all 2,000 prisoners in 25 minutes flat with none of them talking.
Boy, it sounds like my mom when she worked at the elementary school up the road.
Sit down, shut up. Here's your loaf.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Are you going to drink that chocolate milk? Give it to me then. Don't throw that away. I was like, how many children's milks did you drink? And she's like, I lost count. Yeah, just get him in, get him out. There's a lot of quotes from Ike Webb, who was not only a guard for a long time, but then came back as a volunteer. And Hallie today said that he's since passed away, sadly, but he trained a ton of the tour guys and gave them
her
like firsthand experiences. And there's a cell there that is as it was when he was a guard there, and that he gave all of his input into it. So I wish that we could have met Ike Webb, but alas, maybe he was there in spirit.
He was spoken of very highly.
Oh, yeah.
The violence ended in many inmates' deaths. For those whose families would not claim the decedent's bodies, they were buried on the prison grounds. 218 grave sites remain on the property, none of which are marked with the lost souls' names, but only marked with their prison numbers. What we didn't know when we got to this prison was that there's an actual prison next door that is like active.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, you walk up and there's signs that say, don't take photos out of this window. And I didn't have my glasses on. And I was like, what? And of course I didn't. I want to be respectful. But you get up and you go, oh, that's because we're high enough up that we can see over the wall into the next door prison and see folks out in the yard. It is it's startling when you think about it, that what the conditions were now, we hope that they are much better over there.
Yeah, and there was kind of a not as high maximum security, but then she's like, over there, that building over there, that's maximum security, and there's a lot of people in there on death row. So like, you're in a historical building knowing everything that went on, but you're also seeing like, we're still doing this, and it's right there. Yeah, it was pretty alarming. One such prisoner was James Lockhart. Lockhart was serving a relatively light sentence, but had recently been denied parole. This disappointment became too much to bear for the inmate. After stealing a bottle of turpentine from the prison furniture shop, Lockhart snuck it back to his cell. There he doused himself in the flammable liquid and lit a match. Lockhart's screams were soon matched by inmates in the neighboring cells as flames began creeping into their space. Sadly, the guards were unable to open Lockhart's cell door in time to save him. Paranormal researchers have reported hearing disembodied screams coming from cell 13, and that items in the cell feel warm to the touch, according to the haunted places.
And we were able to tour this cell today. And the way she explained it was when the cell doors close and lock, they're all closed by a central mechanism way at the end. And cell 13 was kind of towards the middle. And then on top of that, each cell had a padlock. So when they needed to get one single cell open, you had to come, unlock the padlock on the outside, run down, push the mechanism just for that door. And so it's sad. And that's why you say, okay, well, that's why we should not have had a prison that was still functioning with 1930s locks in the 1990s. And thankfully, everybody's been moved out into places with a lot better technology to, if something like this happened again, you'd be able to open the door like that. But yeah, when you looked at it and saw how far it was from where you opened it, you're like, oh my God. And that there was like I think we knew the story, and she told us the story. It was kind of like a sad energy in there.
Yeah, a heaviness, yeah. Despite the failing infrastructure that left prisoners suffering, the institution attracted the attention of Hollywood. In 1983, the reformatory was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. It had been used in the 1976 comedy Harry and Walter Go to New York, then went on to be featured in 1989's Tango and Cash and 1997's Air Force One. More recently, the building was used in the 2021 Academy Award-nominated film Judas and the Black Messiah.
And we had to ask why there was Stalin and Lenin paintings.
Huge paintings in this room of Stalin and Lenin. She's like, have you seen Air Force One? We're like, oh, yeah, that's right.
It was a Russian prison in Air Force One. It made way more sense. I was just like, are you guys weird enthusiasts? She's like, that's one of the number one questions we get. And I said, oh, people are like, what's with those? She was like, they don't always ask it in a really nice way. I was like, oh, no.
The prison's most famous role came in 1994's The Shawshank Redemption. Curious film lovers can visit the museum's Shawshank Experience, featuring 5 rooms of props, costumes, set pieces, and other treasures from the film starring Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins. Visitors can also see the safe in Warden Norton's office, Red's parole boardroom, and Andy's escape tunnel.
What did we learn about the escape tunnel?
That in the movie, all the shit he's going through is really made with sawdust, chocolate syrup, and Oreo crumbles. I was like, wow.
Aside from the sawdust, you're going through like,
Like this, yeah, you're really having to act because like, this actually smells good. I didn't have to crawl through a river of shit to get to freedom.
People are like, Andy Dufresne is a fecophiliac. He is loving that mud. And it's like, no, it's Oreos.
But it was very cool. They had, even though he's like crawling through a tunnel for a long time, the movie, it's like, I think it was a 12-foot tunnel that they used just to film it. And they have it there.
Yeah, you see it. They don't let you go in it. Or
No,
they don't let you take a bite. But
they couldn't, no.
we both also got to sit at Andy's desk where he did, he was cooking the books, and then also at the warden's desk and see the safe in the warden's room and the library. They have all kinds of Shawshank stuff there.
They filmed the actual set for when Brooks gets into the halfway house is there. So that it's all set up like that. And it's a replica. Brooks was here carved in, and then it says so was Red. Everyone's seen Shawshank Redemption, right?
If not,
y'all are like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but it's like one of the best movies ever made, so just go watch it.
Because I saw Shawshank Redemption like so long ago, and then I hadn't seen it, and then when Paris and I started dating, he said that was one of his favorite movies, and I go, what was that about again? And he was like, okay, it opens on a scene. And then he did the whole movie, including parts where he was like, and then he carves, he climbs up on a chair and he carves, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to marry
It's
this
so
man.
good. It's so good.
Now I like don't want to watch the movie again. I only want him to tell me the plot of the movie.
They have the actual carving of Brooks was here in another part of the museum tour.
And the hat that Morgan Freeman wore and the letter. So it's really cool.
It's very cool.
They were able to get a lot of the actual movie memorabilia.
The actual tunnel that Andy digs was a set piece that she said, no one kept it. No one thought about it.
Same with the cells. She said they shot it in a Westinghouse warehouse in Mansfield, but that they modeled them somewhat to look like the cells in the prison, but it wasn't the actual ones. And I said, I guess at the time you go, all right, movie's over, destroy the set. You don't think like in 25 years people are going to want to take photos in here.
Well, you should.
Should have thought better of it. We have beef with the producers of Shawshank. Like, you listen to this?
The lawsuit filed by OSR prisoners was successful, and on December 31st, 1990, the Ohio State Reformatory was closed for good. It laid in ruins for the next 4 years as vandals broke windows and entered the abandoned building to lay waste to its interior. In 1994, 1 year after Shawshank was filmed, demolition began on the reformatory's outermost buildings. But a group of dedicated citizens intervened.
They also started some demolition inside and removed all the toilets.
Yeah,
Now we got
and then
the toilet
she's like,
room.
we don't take most people back here, but if you guys want to see the toilet room, and Heather's like, what? And it's
Love
just
to.
this huge room with all the toilets from and I go, what are y'all gonna do with these? Are you gonna like restore all these? She's like, we really don't have a plan. We don't really know.
But I like the idea of a preservation society whose mission is don't throw that away. In that case, I am a preservation society.
There were so many. I was gonna say stools, but I mean like actual stools that you
There's
sit
stools
on.
in the toilet room.
There's
Don't
a
be
lot of
surprised.
stools in the toilet room. But yeah, I was like, I guess you just either throw these away or preserve them. She's like, we're starting at the front. We're working our way back. We don't really know what we're going to do.
I mean, it's like, what'd she say? It's 250,000 square feet. I mean, it's huge.
It's very large.
It's humongous, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Mansfield Reformatory Preservation Society was created and purchased the former prison for $1 from the state of Ohio.
It's a deal.
They then raised funds via grants and private donations to stop the demolition and begin preserving the landmark for the community. The initial renovations cost $6 million, and the first priorities being to restore electricity and refurbish the plumbing systems. The improvements thrilled those who had set about saving the building. Former guard and later volunteer tour guide Ike Webb told the Springfield News-Sun,
The first time a toilet flushed, there were celebrations. And I'll tell you what, went there today, toilet did flush. It was great.
Yeah.
It's great.
went to 2 different toilets there.
Yes,
They both
right, we
flushed.
did.
Yeah, they were great. Yeah. One of our favorite parts was next to where the bathrooms were, there was a giant Monster Energy like machine, and it just says, use at your own risk. With a sign, we're like, what, is this thing haunted? Is this on the tour? What's going on here?
Either they mean you lose your money in it, which, nah. you put your hand in to get the Monster Energy drink out and it gets you. Or you fucking drink that Monster Energy drink and shit changes. That's what we should have done. We should have gone down there, got a Monster, pounded it, and then gone on the tour.
Oh, man.
God. We gotta ride the beast.
Volunteers renovating the space were often met with more than peeling paint and stubborn toilets. Many encountered aggressive paranormal spirits while working in the prison. When guided tours began being offered to the public, claims of paranormal activity skyrocketed. With so many tortured souls lost at the reformatory, it's no surprise that it is considered by paranormal experts to be one of the most haunted sites in America. Visitors to the prison often report feeling cold spots in rooms, hearing the sound of cell doors being slammed shut, and disembodied voices, and seeing shadowy figures lurking in the halls, according to the Travel Channel.
We heard something disturbing today. We were down in solitary, and Hallie started telling us a story about one of the guards who sadly was bludgeoned to death. And then we heard the voices of children, and we heard their footsteps. And then around the corner came a whole fucking class of 5th graders. And then she was like, I gotta stop talking about bludgeoning people because the kids are coming. And we were like, yeah, it's probably good.
And then this one kid's like, gross, oh, gross. And his mom, it's just peeling paint. Stop touching it. I'm like, that is lead paint. I said, don't let your kid touch that.
Yeah, he's right, though, because it's poison. And she was like, oh, get over it. And I was like, he won't if he puts it in his mouth.
She said there were several school tours when we were there. I was like, my daughter would love it.
Dude.
She will be here. We'll have to bring her at one point.
Oh, it'd be amazing. Well, you said hard relate when Hallie was like, I snuck my way onto a ghost hunting team when I was 13. And you were like, that's going to be Ella.
I'm looking into my future, yes.
Mm-hmm. But now she's living her dream.
Yeah, that's why it's a very lucrative career. Mm-hmm. So in 2009, professional paranormal investigator and eager ghost fist fighter Zach Bagans and the Ghost Adventures crew visited the prison. In interviews with the television show, volunteers recounted their interactions with the inmates, who seemed unable to ever leave. Multiple volunteers saw a white apparition on the east cell block's 2nd floor. It seemed to be traveling back inside the cell. Tour guide Mike Middleton told of a black mass he saw running down the hallway. When Middleton confronted the apparition, asking,
"Did you just run in here?"
he heard a guttural voice reply,
"Fucker."
Oh, you're like, fuck, man.
Rude.
I don't even know who to turn around and be mad at. It's just a voice.
Well, that's what we were saying. She said that somebody that worked there got their hair yanked and and I said, that is you normally, if you're at work and someone yanks your hair, you file a report with HR. But in this case, they're going to be like, okay, who's the perpetrator? And you're like, about that. And where can we find them? I don't know. The other side?
Yeah. You're going to have to contact the other side's HR for that. She said that the guard down in solitary, or tour guide down in solitary, they all have to go at the end of their shifts, by themselves into all the rooms and check to make sure they haven't left tourists in there. And I'm like, get a buddy. You can't just be doing that on your own. She's like, yeah, it's sometimes it's really. Also, the raccoons. You need help for that. But she said,
even if it's not a ghost, you still need a buddy to fight the raccoon.
You got to have a raccoon buddy. But she said there was one woman that was down in the hole, and she just heard footsteps running towards her, super so fast that she ducked down because she thought somebody was gonna barrel into her, and then nobody was there.
And that was another one. The ghost punched the guy in the head that worked there. I'm like, okay, well, that's a dedicated worker. He was like, yeah, I got punched on Thursday. Anyway, see you guys on Monday.
She said that most people that are volunteers there feel like they have been chosen to be there, and they're there for a specific reason. So she said, sometimes people come and it just doesn't work out. That's not a good fit. But others feel like they've been chosen. I'm like, is there a hazing process at the reformatory? They're like, you want to be a tour guide? You gotta go sit in that raccoon room all night by yourself
in the basement with a whole herd of them.
The volunteers noted that the more recently opened areas were host to more ghostly activities. Additionally, female volunteers seemed to bear the brunt of the ghouls' frustration. Rude. Women volunteering in the reformatory reported having their heads pushed, hair pulled, or their bottoms squeezed.
I would like to lodge a complaint because I did not get squeezed today.
None of that happened.
My husband is back in Dallas, so I was hoping for... It doesn't count if it's a ghost. It doesn't count. I walked ass forward the whole time. She told me to be careful on the stairs. Didn't matter. I was like, listen, I know what I'm here for. Not even once.
Not once.
Christy
you put it
didn't
out
do
there. I'm sorry. I was worried about... I was trying to get my own grab, so I wasn't paying attention to yours. Also did not happen.
Not even one time.
Given the increase in activity, Zach Bagans told one female volunteer,
"You're a good piece of bait." Don't say that to a woman. Don't say that.
You think you ever said that to Holly Madison?
Ooh, well, maybe that's why she broke up with him. In your face.
When moments later, Bagans was subject to an eerie increase in energy, the volunteer, Susan, replied,
"Maybe you're the bait."
Sick burn, Susan.
Go, Susan. Go, Susan. But Hallie did say that, yes, they noticed that female volunteers and female tour guides do seem to get more. But I asked her, like more activity or like physical activity. And I asked her, I said, do you feel like the spirits know you because you've been here so long? And she said, yeah, I really do. And it's less aggressive and almost more like playful. Like someone would come up and goose her, on the back or something like that versus like yanking. But one of the rooms we went into, she said that she had her ponytail yanked like relatively recently.
Mm-hmm. Mike Middleton was once conducting a tour of the hole when one of his guests, an older man with cancer, was punched violently in the head by an invisible force. When Middleton asked the entity what it wanted, Middleton picked up a voice on his EVP recorder saying,
"I'll kill this freak."
Middleton was very upset that the spirit would take advantage of a patron's vulnerable state of health.
So Mike Middleton wasn't the only one upset with this.
Well, I think everybody in this room and us is also upset with this.
Do you know who's a defender of the people? Do you know who cares about us? Do you know who wants to go to bat and punch a ghost in the mouth for all of us? Fucking Zach fucking Bagans.
Oh, Zach
He
Bagans.
was like, oh, really, Ghost? Ghost is in here? Oh, really? You want to hit an older man with cancer? Really, Ghost? Why don't you hit me? Why don't you hit me? He was like going off. And Paris was watching with me. He was like, is he trying to fight a ghost again? I was like, yeah. But then the episode ended. And then Paris goes, so can we watch another one? I was like, you just want to watch this man fight ghosts? Zach Bagans.
That's everybody does. That's why he just signed a 3-year renewal.
Yes, they were like
contract.
They're like in the next 3 years, Zach Bagans will produce 100 hours of content. And I was like, that's not enough. That's not enough.
It's not enough.
He's
Ghosts.
a hero
Not
of the
enough
people.
go fight.
I've like come full circle of like joking about Zach Bagans, much like I do with a lot of stuff, to being like, I'm all in, I'm on board.
One ghost that is said to have never left the prison grounds was never actually an inmate. Local Mansfield legend Phoebe Wise's spirit has been seen walking the road leading up to the reformatory. Phoebe and her family made their home on a large swath of land in 1833. Part of their property included the land that would later house the prison. Phoebe had been a hermit, choosing to spend her time in nature with the wildlife as opposed to humans. She was brilliant, eccentric, and loved by the town folk.
We don't have proof of it, but I like to think she had her own raccoons.
She's 100%.
That did her
Those
bidding.
raccoons are her raccoons.
That's right.
The ghost of her raccoons. Phoebe Wise, as we'll see,
Fucking rocks.
badass bitch. And I like that everyone was like, yeah, she's a hermit, and instead of like shaming her, they're like, but we love her.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh, she was a hermit. She didn't have time for the rest of us.
She was great. She'd come into town, everybody would like get out of her way. They're like, we love you, Phoebe. She was really good looking.
Hell
All the men wanted her.
Look at that.
She's like, I don't want you. I want my raccoons. I don't have anything to do with you.
I'm trying to get my groceries and go back to my silence.
I feel that. While the dangerous conditions escalated in the prison, Phoebe experienced dangers of her own in her home just down the road from the heavy iron gates. In 1891, 3 armed men broke into her home looking for rumored treasure. They ransacked the place and tied Phoebe to a chair to try and get her to spill the location of the loot. When she told them there wasn't any, they burned the bottoms of her feet with a torch, according to the Ohio History Connection. Finally realizing there was no treasure, the thieves left, but not before having the audacity to ask Phoebe if they could have a slice of the pie she had baked right before they broke into her home.
Go fuck yourself.
You just broke into my house, ransacked the place, burned the bottoms of my feet, and now you want, what kind of pie you think it was, buttermilk?
Oh,
now you want a piece of my buttermilk pie?
Yeah. No, you got to go, oh, yeah, you want pie? Do you know what I want? Non-burned feet.
Yeah.
Not my shit all over the floor. No, also, weird that they were willing to just kick the door in, but we're like, is it cool if we... we're not trying to be rude.
Yeah, they had a line that they wouldn't cross. Mm-hmm. Once the story of the robbery got out, locals rushed to offer Phoebe support and protection. More than capable of taking care of herself, Phoebe declined the offers. Additionally, she declined the multiple marriage proposals she received from various suitors, telling one newspaper,
I don't like men. They're not truthful. I mean, she ain't wrong. She was like, I don't like men. They break into my fucking home and try to eat my pie.
They burned the bottoms of my feet, and then they ate my pie.
She's like, you know what hasn't done that? My raccoon herd. Also, there's nowhere for the men to sleep because I'm sleeping in a bed of raccoons.
One admirer's obsession with Phoebe turned dangerous when he would not accept that she did not want a relationship with him. Jacob Kostanowicz began to stalk Phoebe, resulting in him being arrested and even placed in a mental health facility at one point. Jacob's obsession escalated on May 22nd, 1898, when he showed up at Phoebe's home, hysterically demanding,
marry me or shoot me.
Unbothered, Phoebe used her rifle to fire a single shot through the window, killing the man. Fuck around and find out. That's what happened. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me with a good time. I'll shoot you right in the face. I don't care.
Yeah, it's 1898. Yeah, when you go to the court, the judge is like, he hath fucked around and found it out.
Also, she didn't find his body till the next morning. That's how much she did not care what just happened.
Let me go to bed.
Yeah, I got some raccoons to curl up with. I'll see what happened in the morning.
It's like, it's dark out there. He ain't going anywhere. I'm going to bed.
Later, when a public inquest was held about the shooting, Phoebe coolly told the prosecutor,
I'm not guilty,
before refusing to answer any more questions. According to the Ohio History Connection, when the prosecutor declared the shooting
a justifiable homicide,
the gathered crowd, made up mostly of women, erupted in cheers.
Go, Phoebe, go.
Phoebe Wise passed away at her home on March 13th, 1933. Some visitors to the reformatory claim to see her spirit walking the road that leads up to the prison, perhaps choosing to spend her afterlife much like she did her mortal life, surrounded by nature and all the raccoons.
That's where they're
she's
at.
Going to she's going to feed the raccoons.
Oh, yeah.
That is why she's heading to the prison.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where you got to go. Sinisterhood will be right back. For many of us, stress is just a regular feature of daily life, and I know I don't always do what I need to do to take care of myself when I'm stressed, and including traveling all the time and maybe not getting so much sleep.
Yes, and when it gets more intense in a short time, stress can trigger physical reactions like dramatically increased hair shedding and thinning.
And what's wild is people lose 50% of their total hair before they even notice an increase in shedding. Now there's a way to stop stress-related hair loss in its tracks and spark new, stronger growth.
Prose specializes in custom hair care, and now they also make custom hair supplements that help reduce excess shedding and spark fuller, thicker hair growth with just 2 capsules a day. I've been using them. We get blowouts a lot on the road, and every time they're like, wow, your hair looks really nice. I'm like, thank you. It's the Prose. Also, my hairstylist in Dallas, when I went and got my hair done last time, she said, I know I don't have to talk to you about what type of shampoo to use because she listens. She's like, I know you use Prose, and that's great. So it's hairstylist recommended.
Done and done. And it really works. Your hair looks amazing. And multiple studies show that over 90% of women taking Prose hair supplements saw less shedding, more growth, and improved overall appearance in just 90 days.
Try your own custom hair supplements and you'll get 15% off. Get yours at prose.com/creepy.
That's prose.com/creepy for your free in-depth hair consultation and 15% off custom hair supplements. Your kid learns what they have to at school, but when do they get to learn what they want to learn? I'll tell you when. It's when you sign them up for OutSchool.
OutSchool offers live, online, and interactive classes for kids ages 3 to 18. With the widest variety of subjects and teachers, they have something for any kid.
Classes explore every interest you can think of, and some you can't, like karate, video game design, and how to become a YouTuber. You can choose the class size, instructor, teaching method, and group setting, giving your kids the learning experience that works best for them. I just told you someone DM'd us and was like, oh my gosh, you guys mentioned OutSchool? I love OutSchool. So it's not just us, it's everybody.
I love that it can be tailored specifically because some kids like to work in groups or have a lot of people in the class. Others do better in small groups. So whatever works best for them, you can fit that in for your kids' needs. OutSchool brings kids together around their shared interests, helping them fall in love with learning, build confidence, and make new friends.
OutSchool helps kids explore their interests and discover new ones. Right now, for a limited time, you'll save $15 on your child's first class when you go to outschool.com/creepy and use code creepy.
That's OUTSCHOOL.com/creepy. Code creepy to save $15 off your child's first class. Outschool.com/creepy. Code creepy.
Some sites like the Reformatory seem predisposed to become a hotspot of supernatural activity. Before the Reformatory was built, it was a training camp for the Civil War, known as Camp Mordecai Bartley, beginning its historical years prior to the limestone walls going up. Those very walls may have some impact on the supernatural energy as well. Paranormal researcher T.C. Lethbridge put forth the stone tape theory in the 1970s that limestone has the ability to absorb and release electromagnetic and psychic energies. In a scientific study conducted by the University of Minnesota, limestone had the highest positive correlation with reports of haunted locations. There is some merit to this claim, as limestone is an efficient energy distributor according to Chemistry World.
And we mentioned that. I said, oh, so all this is limestone, right? And she said, yeah, and people say
it's beautiful too.
Oh, it's gorgeous limestone, but it's, I guess there's some sort of, because it has a predisposition to conducting actual electricity, that there is some thought that it conducts the same electromagnetic tendencies that cause the paranormal.
And it's all exposed. A lot of stuff in the prison is exposed brick. All down in the hole, like the walls are all limestone. So a lot of stuff to hold on to. Zach Bagan suggested that the lack of a proper burial for the inmates by simply tossing them in wooden boxes and putting them in graves marked only with their prisoner numbers could have led to their souls not being able to cross over. This is corroborated by Legends of America, which published an article titled,
What Makes a Ghost?
According to their research,
if the spirit believes he or she did not receive what they believe is a proper burial, they may remain.
So by that logic, you got 218 people that are just roaming around.
Did not receive proper burials. Like he said, they just they made the boxes they made the caskets in the woodworking shop and didn't mark them, and it was a little bit strange because there was such a religious undertone as far as having like going to chapel and stuff, and they may have done like some sort of funeral service, but just having a number on the grave and not having like family to visit could leave somebody restless.
Well, we went, and Hallie and Ashley were super nice. We had a wonderful time. We highly recommend it. Heather's going through our pictures right now.
See if there's anything we skipped to tell you all about.
Oh, yeah. Well, what was that?
The dining room. There was a whole thing about the dining room, and one of the inmates said there was a lot of gravy. Well, if that's true,
probably because that masks the flavor of a lot of stuff. You just dump gravy on something to cover it all up.
Absolutely. We also saw the electric chair, which they didn't actually conduct any executions at the Ohio State Reformatory, so it's on loan. But they don't let anyone go. She goes, we don't let anyone sit in it. And I was like, well, I wasn't going to ask.
She's like, people do, though. Yeah. A lot of people want to sit in it.
She said, you'd be surprised. People do. But they said that there is a lot of
It was
activity.
An actual one that many executions have been conducted on. And it's so ancient looking. It's wild. That,
it is.
That was a thing still.
Big wooden chairs with leather straps, and they have like the sample sponge and stuff that they use. And she said on a lot of the nighttime ghost hunts, if they close it off, that they'll have some of the investigators near either of the doors, maybe not knowing what's in there and just going, my machines are going wild in this area, and it's the area with the electric chair in it.
Yep. What else did we? We did use our very high tech app that we downloaded from the Apple Store. Our
app.
Ovulus app to see, and I think we got prayer.
We got prayer. We got 100 in the shower room with all of the various
100.
The word 100.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Maybe it's 100 people who are all taking a shower at the same time, which it could have been. And then we got prayer. We got fear.
Remove.
Family.
Threat. Yeah.
We always end up with the word bacon. We got bacon at Kel's Irish Pub, and we got bacon again today. And I'm like,
I think that says something about us more than the ghosts. I don't know. Yeah. We one picture you haven't run across there yet is who filmed the rap video?
oh, Leanne, is Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne filmed.
He filmed Go DJ there.
Yes, and they have the cell, and there's a little plaque next to it that tells all about it. The thing is, she's like, you'll notice that in this cell, the toilet is gold, and it's because Lil Wayne spray painted the toilet, everything in there, the whole bars and everything. It's all gold, so it looks a little different than the cells next to it.
Yeah, it's red walls and a gold toilet. And you walk in there and you go, well, this is kind of nice. But it's for the rap video only. Also, a very good song, fun song. But yeah, we looked at, I had an encounter today in the room with the chair. So Leanne and Christy were a little bit behind me, and I was walking with Hallie, and we were on the 3rd floor, and it was the former deputy warden's quarters, and also where the guards could rent places to stay, because she said if you were a single guard and you didn't want to, have to pay higher rent in the city of Mansfield, you could just rent a room on site. Sounds a little depressing because you never leave work, but that's fine, whatever, no judgment. And one of the rooms has no windows. So she walked me in there, and I was just kind of filming, whatever. And I was standing in this back corner. So when you walk in the room through the front door, or through the main door, I was standing to the left, sort of behind the door, and just trying to take footage or whatever. And then I felt someone blow my hair and touch my shoulder, and the footage is me going, "Nobody touched me. It's cool. It's cool. I didn't get touched. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Where's everybody at? Where'd you guys go?" Because Hallie and I had walked in, and then Christy and Leanne were still taking I don't know what they were doing, but she went out to get them and left me in there alone. I was like, "Where'd you guys go? What's up? What's up?" And then they all walked in there, and then she told us that just 3 weeks ago that there was a psychic, and there's a single chair in the center of the room, and Christy just immediately walked in, sat right in the middle of the room. She's like, "Yeah, it's okay. What's up?" And so she said that the psychic had done a reading a few weeks earlier, and that there were some folks standing along the wall, and the woman that was standing to the left of the door when you came in, where I was standing, as the psychic said, is there any energy in the room? And the psychic said they were feeling like the energy was pushing on them, that the psychic said, "Back up, get away from me," that the woman who was standing where I ended up passed out and had no recollection of the day and didn't know what happened, and they had to call 911. She was totally fine, of course, but she said,
stayed for the rest of the ghost tour.
Hell yeah, that's some dedication. But
she was also like, we're really glad she was okay because there's no elevators.
She's like, you can't get a gurney up here. Yeah, you can't get a gurney up
3 flights of stairs.
But that was definitely my feeling today, where I was like, ooh.
That was the only floor that I felt like there was a heaviness to. As soon as we walked up the stairs and got to that, I immediately was like, oh, there's a big energy shift here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that room, it sort of took my breath away when who knows what it could have been. But she did mention that was a particularly active room, and that recently also somebody was scratched in there. Mm-hmm. And then the same with the hole downstairs. She said that within the last few weeks on one of the paranormal hunts that someone was scratched. I hope they're having people sign waivers whenever they go in.
I walked through an area and I go, whoa, it's cold here. Did anybody else feel that breeze? She's like, yeah, there's a breezeway. It's just because these... I was like, oh, okay. Cool. It was very cool, though. I highly recommend. Has anyone been to the prison?
Woo-woo.
A couple people. Give us a woo because we can't see. A couple people,
okay,
yeah. It's very visits. Cool. It's very... beautiful for a prison. I was like, it feels like a courthouse almost, or like an old library or something. So yeah, if you're in the area, check it out, and then check out Grandpa's Cheese Barn.
Can't miss it. You can't miss Grandpa's Cheese Barn.
They have homemade ice cream
everyone there, so nice.
The nicest.
So
and I got
nice.
a shirt that says I cut the cheese at Grandpa's Cheese Barn.
She did.
And I'm real excited about it.
Yeah.
And it says, and I thought about you at the bottom. So I will put that on.
I didn't know it said that.
Oh, yeah. I'll put
she
it
walked
on.
up with a t-shirt. I go, did you get a t-shirt? She goes, I'm all in. I was like, all right.
I'm all in on the cheese barn.
We have so much chocolate and
So much
cheese and crackers in the hotel room
We got
right
some
now.
Buckeyes in Columbus, some Buckeyes candy.
I had a peanut butter Buckeye cookie. Oh, God, it was so good. Also
looks
from
good.
Grandpa's Cheese Barn. You guys got to go to Grandpa's Cheese Barn.
This podcast is sponsored by Grandpa's Cheese Barn. If you're going through Ashland,
No,
Ohio.
they don't have to pay. We'll do it for free.
No, we'll do it for free. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
man. Yeah, they were great.
was
Everybody
fun.
was great. Everybody, when we drove into Ashland, it said, home of the nicest people on earth or something. And I was like, it is.
Yeah, they were not wrong.
It said headquarters of the nice people. We were like, we found it. We found their headquarters. And it turns
Finally.
out they all work for Grandpa's Cheese Barn.
That's right. They're all gainfully
So
employed.
nice. Yeah.
So helpful. Fantastic.
Everyone in Ohio has just been amazing. Well, so what do we think? Wait. We have a conclusion.
Wait.
I jumped ahead of myself. Wait. Today, the Ohio State Reformatory is overseen by a volunteer board that are dedicated to the preservation and maintenance of the former prison. All donations go directly towards this cause. The reformatory is open to the public every day from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and offers various types of tours and experiences. During the month of October, the haunted prison takes fear to a whole new level with their blood prison haunted house, which several of the areas she was like, we can't go in there. It's been permanently taken over by the blood prison. We're like, are there just props in there? Like, what's in there? We want to see what's in there.
It's real weird. I was like, what about us indicates we don't want to see something that's real weird. I'm frankly
We're like,
offended.
this whole thing is weird, Hallie. Like, that's not any more weird than anything else we're talking about. Oh, my computer jumped. There we go. See, normally we'd edit all this out, but you guys get to just hear it. According to the event's website,
Escape from Blood Prison offers the only haunted hellscape in a real prison at the Ohio State Reformatory. Don't wait to test the authenticity. Violent men were kept here, and some never left, even after death.
it's also open during December for those that celebrate Christmas with blood prisons.
That's right.
So, sounds like it. She was like, it gets really cold here. I'm like, it'd be spooky as hell. Go through this blood prison all cold. And yeah, I think one year the theme was Krampus because we saw a Krampus shirt. So I don't know. Oh man,
We gotta come back.
We might come back. I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna be and around that time, but it sounds like a very fun time. Well, whatever time of year you visit the Ohio State Reformatory, there's a good chance you may experience your own paranormal encounter. 154,000 inmates passed through the gates of the reformatory during the 94 years it operated. More than 200 of those men lost their lives on the prison grounds. For many, it seems as if they received more than just a life sentence. They are forced to do time for eternity, while their restless souls remain forever trapped within the prison's walls. For those who may be on the fence about visiting the haunted site, just remember the wise words of Andy Dufresne.
Get busy living, get busy dying.
That's from Shawshank. If you haven't seen the movie, you should go see the movie. It's one of the best movies ever made.
Also, the whole time Paris was telling me, he would not just say Tim Robbins' character or Andy. He would go, Andy Dufresne, and then Andy Dufresne. I'm like, you don't even talk like that. And he was like, Andy Dufresne was an accountant, and Andy Dufresne did not kill his wife. Andy Dufresne. I'm like, Andy Dufresne said. So I'm very pleased to be able to quote Andy Dufresne. Thank you very much.
Well, so what do we think?
Oh, wow. It is a phenomenal place. There is definitely an energy. When
We're
you
talking
drive
about the cheese barn right now.
Yes, the cheese barn. When you drive around the corner, you see that there are so many silos
It's a
of
wonderful
cheese.
place. There's an energy.
You think, how could there be this much cheese? No, but for the reformatory, certainly. I mean, I won't say it took our breath away, but you're kind of driving down a little bit of a more rural road, and we were like, whoa, that is a big-ass building. And then you go down the drive, and it's it's a big, giant Gothic building. It's its own character.
It would be very intimidating if you were a prisoner being transferred there to drive up on that. Yeah,
certainly.
Sure.
And then in any movie it's in, it's its own character in the movie, and you can see why. And they've done a lot of work, and it's
so much.
And you look at it and you go, it's a good thing that the citizens swooped in when they did and saved it, not just because they filmed Shawshank there, but because it's a testament to what humans went through, like remembering what they went through. And then also now it brings tourists to the area. It also, we're all a bunch of Shawshank fans. If not, go watch the movie.
Also, there's a blood prison on it.
There's also a haunted house.
Yeah.
But I think at the time when it was functioning as it was intended as a reformatory, it was a vital part of the community. And I think it's also a testament of why the city council president said, yeah, we would go have picnics there. We had no fear because it was functioning in the reformatory way that it was intended. So there's a lot of lessons we can learn from, I think, the trajectory of the whole prison's history, but also that, let's all take time to preserve the history so we don't repeat it. And it's very spooky inside, I think.
It's spooky. It's everybody has put in so much work to preserving it. It's very cool to see. I was like, was this original? She's like, yeah, all of this. I'm like, that's amazing. Yeah. It's
They've
like
even
looking back in time.
taken time to cut holes out of the bricks. So you can see the mechanism they have a lot of pocket doors throughout. So architecturally, it's really cool. And especially, you were going to say, okay, well, if you're saying, okay, well, we can either demolish it, run it down, and who knows what would get built in its place. And now you have something that, people pay, you pay to go on a tour or whatever. And,
they host
keep
events.
it going.
They have weddings.
That got me.
I was not surprised. I was about to ask, do y'all ever do weddings here? And then she was like, this room is used for weddings, but you can't take photographs on parts because the other prison is out the windows, and you're not so we're like, you'd have to really angle where you can take your pictures here.
Certainly. I deeply regret the choices I made for my wedding.
You should have looked into it.
Should have done a destination wedding in Mansfield. I done goofed. But as far as the spirits, I felt that thing touch my shoulder and breathe on me, and definitely got the pinpricks, the nerves. I got, and it wasn't in every room. I think if I was just like, oh, Heather's a scaredy cat, which I am, you could kind of write it off. I was feeling like when you walked up those stairs and you were like, oh, there's a presence up here. I was like, I don't really feel anything. And I was just kind of bebopping along. Got me, man, in that windowless room. They got me.
Yeah, it was a good time. Definitely felt some weird stuff there. I would love to go on an overnight ghost hunt. She said they do overnights that are from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. And we're like, do people sleep? She's like, no, everybody's just walking around.
That's what I said. And again,
with the raccoons.
I like to think I'm an intelligent person.
Honestly, that's what would creep me out the most.
The raccoons at night?
Or just other things that are there. There were a lot of birds everywhere. There was a dead bird in the basement. Yeah, I was like, there's a dead bird over there. And she goes, yeah.
Yeah, there is.
That's not the first time that has happened at all. You got all those raccoons in there.
No, yeah. It's I would love to go at nighttime. I did ask, so what time, where do people sleep when they do the overnight ghost hunt? She was like, they're pretty active in the hunt part. I was like, oh, my bad.
They don't come here and just sit and nap.
I was trying to pick out, but she did say, she's like, the room where they have the weddings, it's kind of the grand hall, and they used it in Shawshank as the cafeteria. And she's like, I've come up, people come up here and take naps sometimes. It's like, I've come up here. Is that what I heard? But I'd take a nap up there. It was nice. It looked nice.
Yeah. Well, go visit if you're in the area, which you all seem to live here, so you probably are. Well, that's the episode. But if you've been to a live show or you've listened to a live show, you know that we do a fun bit that we do for our Patreon, but we're going to do it for you guys tonight.
What does she have?
The gavel.
What do you have under the desk?
If you're a Patreon, first, thank you so much for your support. But also, we do a bit called Judge Christie. I have my gavel here. Baby, I'm going to set it right next to you. So what we do is, and Heather will kind of give us an example to get us started, but we want to hear your grievances. No bummers. That's the only rule we have. And keep them kind of short. If we need to get more information out, we'll ask you some questions. But it could be a minor grievance, something fun, something, whatever. If the person you have a grievance with is here,
even
extra
better.
Bonus points. But Heather will talk about a grievance, and then when we get to it, you have to shout out, I have a grievance. And then someone will bring you a microphone.
I got a lot of problems with folks, but I'm going to do a fun thing tonight. Yell out a one-word suggestion, and it will inspire my grievance. Sushi. Oh, sushi. Sushi grievance. Food, restaurant. Let me think. Oh, I dated a guy. I dated a guy. I won't say the era because some of my exes listen. But I was not very familiar with sushi. And so I can tell you, I was younger. All right, spoiler alert. I was in my early 20s. And I dated a guy, and we had a somewhat of an age gap. All right, it's narrowing down who it was. And it was one of our early dates, and we went on a date, and he took me to a sushi restaurant, and if you've never been, don't feel ashamed, first of all, because I had never been, and they bring you the piece of paper, and they give you the pencil, and you have to mark it. I didn't know what any of the words were. I didn't know what the pencil was, and...
You didn't know what a pencil was?
No, okay. I didn't know what it was for. I was like, what am I? Do you put a 1? And so I was sort of overwhelmed by the whole experience. And I asked, well, okay, so what are we doing here? And he, really? You don't know what any of this was? And was very...
Condescending?
Extremely condescending. And just took my paper and then just started marking sushi for me. And then it came out, and it was, it's like a roulette, right? It was like good, bad, whatever. And I didn't like a lot of it, and I didn't eat a lot of it. And then he was mad because I didn't eat the sushi that he picked. So I felt like I was thrust inappropriately into being forced to eat sushi instead of being like, this has this, this, and this in it. Explaining it to me. This was, again...
Using it as an opportunity to, like, connect and be like, oh, this is the cool thing that I get to share with you for the very first time. Instead, he took it as a way to just swing his tiny dick. I don't know.
To his credit, it was.
Okay, maybe it wasn't that.
I'm not here to lie. I'm not here to, like, hate and lie. But also at the time, I should point out, this was, like, far enough ago that I had, like, a Samsung Blackjack. Like, I didn't really have the internet, so I couldn't, like, secretly be like, I'm going to just take a picture and go to the bathroom and Google it. So I just was like relying on him. And so my grievance is, did he do the right thing in trying to take the paper away from me? Okay, well, thanks.
Of course not.
So
no,
we should break up. Oh, wait, we already did.
I know who this guy was. And I was trying to make a Superman pun. No! I can't. It wasn't him.
Maybe.
I was going to say, well, not all heroes wear capes, but dickheads do. That's what I'll say.
He was wrong. I was right. Thanks.
Yes. Oh, of course. Yeah. So that's kind of like a minor grievance. So if you have one and you want us to rule on it, shout out, I have a grievance, and they will bring you a microphone. We have
right
2 grievances.
We have 2 in the front.
Probably with the same person. They're sitting together. They each have a grievance with each other. Here we go. Oh, super cute shirt. All right. Want to go there first, and then we'll come to you guys next. Tell us your name and pronouns.
Kate, she, her.
Thank you.
All right. This is my sister, Chloe. It's not with her. It's our mother, though.
Okay.
So...
your grievance is about your mother?
Yes.
Okay.
And half of my family as well. I don't remember how we got on this topic, but one day it came about that my mom said she would not go to our execution if we were on death row. And I was like, I'm a mental health counselor. I was like, how could you not do that if that's what I wanted you to do? And she's like, that would be my last memory of you. I would never do that. Fuck no, never, never, never. Right? And so we're like, team, you got to go to the execution. And my mom is straight up like, fuck that, no, never. So
so your question is, should your mom have to go to your execution?
Yes.
Should that ever happen?
I have a follow-up.
Yes.
Dang.
So in this scenario, what crime have you done? I mean, pretty much murder is the only one, but like, was there possibly circumstances? Did a guy yell, marry me or shoot me?
I'm wrongly accused.
Oh my God.
Well, that changes everything. If you're wrongly accused, well, really, does it change everything? I get, like, she doesn't want to see that happen, but is this a bad metaphor?
You know what? Give it to me. Lay it on
I'm
me.
only going to tell you, and then you tell me if it's bad or not. Go ahead. It's like, if you have to go put your dog down, but you don't want to be in the room with them because it's too sad.
She did that.
But she went with the dog? But she wouldn't go with you?
She made my dad take our dog to put down.
Oh, so she wouldn't go with the dog.
Yeah.
She made your
You
dad.
can't be surprised then. If
Yeah,
this is a pattern of
shit,
behavior.
That's her. It sounds like your dad'll go though.
Yeah, your dad will be there. Your dad will be front row.
Your dad won't go either?
No, he said he would cry and he doesn't want to.
Well, of course he's gonna cry. I mean, you're gonna
He's
cry
like,
when
normally
you put
I'd
your
go.
dog down too.
Normally I'd go, but I don't cry in public. So if there's a private room where I can grieve silently, that's fine. That is so
man.
funny that your dad would put the dog down.
Yeah, they went with the dog.
It was my mom told him to, so he had to. He didn't really want to, but she went with me to put our cat down. So it's like she can pick and choose.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
she has the
for our
capacity to watch the life drain from something she loves.
I'm gonna rule in favor of you
Yeah.
and your sister because she brought you into this world, so she has to watch you be taken out by somebody else at a prison.
Them's the rules.
Those are the rules.
Got one right here.
Oh, we had one right here. With your homemade
Okay.
Keep It Creepy shirt. I
Drew
love
that
it.
ghost.
Very cute. What's your name and pronouns?
Alina, she, her.
Hi, Alina. Hello.
Hi. Okay, mine is not nearly as epic. That was
We'll be the judge of
epic.
that.
So I have lived in my apartment for 4 years now, and I plan on moving out in the next few months. When I first moved in, it's an older place, so there were, and quite a few people have lived there, big turnaround. So there were things like, nail holes in the wall, like the baseboard had like paint on it or chipped, like little, the deck wasn't in best condition, little things like that. They never got fixed. Mm-hmm. We pointed them out when we went to look at the apartment, never actually got taken care of while we were there. The big things, but not the little. So I did have to put down a security deposit, as everyone does. Not gonna lie, I've probably done a few things. I definitely added some holes. I kind of tacked my blackout curtains right against the wall, really blacked the room out. Maybe got a few bleach stains on the counter.
Oh, no.
Not related to today. But nothing. I've kept the apartment in good condition. I did
Relatively
not
the
trash
same as it was when you moved in.
Relatively.
Okay.
Some wear and tear. So I put a big hole in the wall. We plastered it. We painted it. Killer job. You'd never know. But can I ask for my full security deposit back?
So are you saying you feel like because they never repaired previous damages that you should be given some leniency with the damages? Like it's a wash almost?
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Knowing that I caused a few,
You're willing to say, like, y'all didn't fix this stuff, but I'm also not going to pay for what I did as retribution.
Those were kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, those were your thoughts? Okay. Heather, as a lawyer, what's the deal?
Oh my. Well, I'm not as familiar with Ohio law. I would say you're not responsible for the stuff that happened before you got there.
Did they make you fill out like a checklist where you have to go through the apartment, which nobody ever fucking does because who's going to look at every baseboard in their apartment? You just figure that out in the 4 years that you lived there. But did you put anything down at the beginning that's like, these holes were already here?
No. We
never do.
typically there, people will take pictures and stuff, but since I actually knew the people through somebody mutual, it just wasn't as formal when we did the walkthrough. So I don't want to feel guilty knowing I caused small amounts of damage and want my full security deposit.
So you just
back.
want us to give you permission. It's basically.
Here's the thing: ask for it all back.
Yeah,
with
always
a straight
ask for
face and
everything.
just be like, I didn't do that.
I always ask for everything.
I don't know what I've lived in this hellhole for 4 years. You didn't fix before I came in here.
And then if they're like, well, we'll give you half, then you can know, like, all right, I'm okay with that because
This is not
I
legal.
caused some damages, but I also should get some compensation back.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
or just threaten to bust a hole in the wall. Although this is not legal advice, I am not your lawyer. If you need legal representation, you call the law offices of Tim Misney.
Oh yeah, we've heard Tim Misney is.
I've been seeing his face on billboards, and we were like, "There's one," and then right adjacent, and then across, and I was like, "He's
They're
everywhere."
everywhere.
And he doesn't look like he's a lawyer. He looks like he's gonna go hit someone with a crowbar for you, because it doesn't say Tim Misney, I'll represent you in court. It's like, I'll make him pay. And you're like, but like monetarily,
His
he's
eyebrows
like,
are incredible. They're just like, like they're like a villain, a cartoon villain drawn on.
Okay, like Uncle Leo, he got his eyebrows blown off and someone drew him back on. But yeah, this man does not look like he is in a court of law. He just will wait for him by their car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you contact Tim Misney if you need representation. But we say ask for it all, and then if they give you half, know that you'll still be happy.
There you go.
If they give you nothing, contact Tim Misney.
That's right. He'll make them pay.
Final ruling. He'll make them pay. Yeah. Who else has a grievance? This person right here. I see. You got to yell out, "I have a grievance."
There's one.
Heather makes you.
I gotta hear it.
She makes everyone do it. I gotta hear it. She's got to hear it.
Okay, so my name's Jordan. She, her.
So, hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh,
there you go.
okay.
She was like, can you do the gavel?
I thought she wanted to take the gavel, and I was like, ma'am,
you want the gavel? Okay.
She wanted to bang. She wanted to bang her. All right.
I'm sorry. What's your name and pronouns?
Jordan, she, her.
Hi, Jordan.
So I am engaged. We're getting married next year. My fiance hates glitter with a burning passion.
That's not what I was expecting.
Hates glitter. His name's Gus. To the point, our first Christmas together, he invited me over to help decorate the tree, which I thought was very romantic. It turns out he's colorblind, and the only things that he had, the only bulbs were yellow or gold, red, and green that his mom had bought him. And he couldn't tell where they could go. And so I tried to buy new bulbs, and some of the bulbs had glitter on them.
Uh-oh.
Freaked out. This was before I knew about the glitter thing.
You found out fast.
Yes. So, and fast forward now, it's to the point if I wear like shimmery eyeshadow, which, as you know, for women, 90% eyeshadow is shimmery. Highlighter, even. Speck. Oh, I see glitter. I can't kiss you. I see glitter.
Because he's worried about the transfer onto him?
Yes.
What happened to him?
He says all of this in like a loving, joking way, not in
But
But is he joking, really?
He means it.
But no, he's not joking, really. He will not. He will lean back and won't come near me. He's afraid that he's going to get glitter on him. That is how much. Like, you can't even jokingly bring glitter around him. He will
So
get
are
mad.
you wanting to have glitter at your wedding?
Is it... I will not wear something even though I want to wear it just to please him, because that's not the way that my mother sitting next to me raised me.
Good job, Mom.
But can I wear some like highlighter or like, if it has a little bit of shimmer? We're also getting married on April Fool's Day.
Oh, loophole.
It's great.
You got a loophole right there.
So, but I'm also afraid that since it's April Fool's Day, it also means you won't kiss me on our wedding day.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my God.
Is his aversion to glitter so strong that if you had just some, like, highlighter on and they said, you may now kiss your bride, he'd be like, oh, no.
Would
he push you away?
I like to think that he will still kiss me. No, he's not here.
Well, that's one reason to break it off. I'm kidding. I have a question. Have you ever asked him what his deep-seated aversion to glitter is based upon? Like, was he like somebody glittered him in the face, or he wronged someone and they sent him a glitter bomb and it brings back the shame?
I get it. I mean, I don't get like the extremeness of it, but glitter sucks. Like glitter,
just 'cause it gets everywhere and never comes off.
Yeah, I broke a glitter ornament 5 years ago when we moved in, and I'm still finding glitter everywhere in the floor and shit. If Ella gets into glitter, I don't even allow it. Like it's wild. Yeah, glitter sucks.
Craft glitter to me though is separate from a shimmer type makeup. I think
that
you
is different.
can't.
Yeah,
his aversion to glitter cannot encroach then on what you would like to do with your own body.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. Yeah.
And that's I will still wear it if I want to wear it, even now.
Could you have a conversation pre-wedding where you're like, I would like to wear some say shimmery highlighter. Are you gonna flip out on me? How would that go?
He would probably listen. He's a pretty listening. I mean, he's very good with communicating.
I would say maybe just let him know ahead of time so it's not sprung on him. True. But if you want to do it, do it.
I did actually bring like an actual glitter eyeshadow, like the chunky, thicker glitter eyeshadow, and point out this is shimmer. This is glitter.
That's true.
Yes. You don't understand that those are two separate things.
Yeah,
and he still is like, nope, it's still glitter. It's just smaller glitter.
Just get it off.
The glitter, I feel like gets stuck in my eyelid skin. Yeah. So I don't even, and it can get in your eye. That's a danger. He's smart for hating that. Yeah. But the shimmer is it just wipes off. The shimmer, it's like anything else.
Yeah. I think wear it, but give him a heads up. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, but what's your dress like? Are you towing the line? Is there any glitter on the dress?
No, there's no glitter on the dress.
Okay,
nice.
All right.
Nice.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck if y'all ever have kids, because he's gonna have a battle.
I know we've already talked about that. If we have a girl, or I mean, boys can play with glitter too.
Anybody.
But I was
this
like,
really is taking over y'all's life. God damn.
Hours a day are dedicated
to the discussion of glitter.
Yeah, it comes up pretty much any time I wear makeup.
Wow. Wow. Well, at least you know there's certain places you're not gonna have to worry about him going to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
There's that.
Done and done.
You don't have to worry about that. But yeah, wear what you want, and congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you.
Final ruling. Who else has a grievance?
I do.
You got one there first? Okay, there, and then we'll come over to you.
Greetings.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name and pronouns?
Felicity, and I am she.
Felicity.
Oh, yes,
thank you.
Thank you. My name is actually Latin for happiness, although I am not Latino, but it's an old word for Latin, meaning happiness.
Hooray.
And I just wanted to tell you, lovely ladies, that possibly one of my most favorite episodes was with Goatman, where you talked about parents telling kids these stories just so you wouldn't give head to men. I thought that was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, my grievance is with the vacuum cleaner factory, Dyson.
Fucking Dyson and me are beefing right now.
Why?
Hit me. We're beefing.
No, I love Dyson. I
beefing.
just got their air wrap. It's incredible.
We're right here. We're
beefing.
Oh, God.
Okay. First of all, so I
Lines
get
are
this
gonna be
vacuum. It
drawn.
says it's for pet hair. No, it's not. It's for nothing.
For nothing.
It has... So I sent them a letter. I said, first of all, your vacuum sucks. And I don't mean literally.
Nice. That's a good joke, though.
Raise the roof. Raise the roof.
Got him.
And then I said, the second thing is, there's no light on the vacuum. You have to have a fucking light on your vacuum so you can see what you're vacuuming.
Mm-hmm. Do you vacuum in the dark?
Doesn't matter.
Never.
There's crevices. There's crannies. There's crevices. I got a Dirt Devil for like dirt cheap.
True.
That's right. And it had a light on it, and the Dyson does not.
Word.
Thank you.
I don't have a Dyson vacuum, so I don't know about it.
I had a ball, and my ball is in a
one.
shop. I had to find a vacuum repair shop.
What's a ball?
A ball vacuum. It's like they're famous, like so good. It sucks you so good, and you get it, and you're like, no, you don't.
No, literally.
Maybe I don't think you use it as a masturbation tool, Heather. That's probably why you don't like it.
You can, a little bit.
We're not using it the proper way, but that doesn't matter.
It should still suck no matter what.
Still do what it's supposed to.
That's right. Just suck this. Yeah. So,
Hell yeah.
Anyway, so my
We
point,
beefing.
I sent them a letter. I said, your advertisements indicate that you vacuum up pet hair and everything else, and there's nothing better because you speak in a British accent.
Mm-hmm.
And so apparently your British vacuums work way better than our American. Screw you, they do not. You don't have a light, and I want to win. So I sent them a letter, and now I'm waiting to hear back if Dyson is going to refund me the ridiculous.
How much was this vacuum?
Freaking $600.
Damn.
Yeah.
I inherited my Dyson, but the value is a lot.
So what, you have dogs, cats?
I have 2 beautiful dogs.
And when you vacuum up the hair, like nothing happens?
No, like nothing.
No, it's rough.
Is it a faulty vacuum?
No, it's just a piece of shit.
Here's the other thing. I have to ask you a question. Have you ever noticed that when you detach the container, that there's one button that is the way it's supposed to open, and there's another button that if it's placed right near it, there's no words, and if you put it all the things that you just vacuum explode into the room.
Oh, they do. And then
yes,
and then there's mystery buttons. You're like, where does this go? What does this do? This is worse than a vibrator. What do they do?
The amount of times in my life that I'm like, it's this one. I know it is. And I pushed the fucking wrong one. And I look like I'm a magician trying to leave the room. It's like,
yes. It's a living hell. Thank you for understanding.
No, I totally understand.
You.
And then I had my cousin dog sat for us during when we were getting married. And she just told my mom, they don't really like to vacuum, do they? And I was like, I love to vacuum. What happens?
Our vacuum hates to vacuum, though.
It's instant gratification because you vacuum and it's gone.
Not with mine's in the shop. So
no. I used to beat the kids. They wanted to vacuum. I'm like, no, get away. That's mommy's job.
For that amount of money, it 100% sure. So if you ask them for a refund and you're waiting to hear back?
Hell to the yes.
Oh, and what are they? What's their reasoning to?
Well, they don't know who they're messing with because, shockingly to you, I am a jail nurse.
Oh,
yeah, word. And your Anthony Sowell episode. Nice. I was at that jail.
No, really?
Yeah,
wow.
for real. So when they want to mess with me and not give me a refund for my vacuum that A, doesn't suck, B, doesn't have a light, need I say more, they will... I'm waiting to hear about a refund.
They're going to fuck around and find out.
If I may, Your Honor, I would like to propose that we turn this into a class action lawsuit against Dyson. And those similarly situated can join us in our grievance.
I did not know everyone had such heated opinions about Dyson.
Well,
Big time.
What you have blows. What we want is sucking, and it's not happening.
True.
Right.
Yeah, my thing is doing the opposite
fine.
of what yours is doing.
Yeah, well, they need to stick to blowing and try and quit the sucking game.
Right.
Get out.
In New Orleans, apparently you only need like 3-4 people, and you can have a parade for you and I.
To the same rules
We're
apply
united.
for lawsuits.
Class action, motherfucker.
I think,
If you say your jurisdiction is international.
It is. It's global.
It's global.
And
So.
it's global. You can't appeal either. So
I want
Dyson doesn't know what they're messing with. Default judgment because they're not here. Anybody from Dyson here? Silence.
Yes, exactly.
I think you get a refund. You get... What do you want?
I would like for my repairs to be covered by Dyson because it's in the vacuum cleaner repair shop in Mesquite, Texas.
I would like a Kirby.
Yeah,
okay.
Dyson, just send me a Kirby.
So you want Dyson to send you a competitor's brand vacuum to make up for this?
If anybody can make it happen, you can make it
happen. You know what? I'll contact that British motherfucker when we get done with this and tell him we're all getting Dysons.
Right.
All right? And they better all work. You get a Dyson. Or we get Kirby's. He's got to send everybody a Kirby, whatever that is. We have a Roomba. Get a Roomba. We love our Roomba.
Your hair dryer is $600. What's wrong with you?
God damn.
Did you?
Your vacuum is $600?
A hair dryer. No, I didn't buy it. But I make fun of a woman I work with.
Don't turn on the judge.
Who buys a she bought a hair dryer.
I bought that same hair dryer though.
You did not.
Let me just say, as the bailiff,
it's not. First of all, hold on. It's not just a hair dryer. It's also It has like 5 It comes in a fucking suitcase. I can't even bring it with me on tour because it is so fucking big that it won't fit. I'd have to bring it like as a carry-on. It has like 3 different paddles to do like different flattenings.
Sure.
You can also do like curls and stuff. Plus, it also doesn't use heat, so it's good for your hair.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast is brought to you by Dyson Airwrap. Use code creepy for 20%.
But that being said, mine blows. I'm not trying to suck up.
Correct. Yes.
The fun thing is though, the nurse that I work with that uses the Dyson hair dryer every day that she comes in, I'm like, oh, your hair looks about $445.
Sick burn.
Got him. Well, I think
my ruling is you get a Kirby and your money back. You get your ball fixed.
Oh, yes. Ball fixed.
And we all live happily ever after.
God love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
I think we heard one over here.
So.
Before that one?
I think so. We got another grievance. Holler so they can find you.
There you are. What's your name and pronouns?
I'm Sarah.
Hello.
Pronoun she, her.
Thank you.
Hi, Sarah.
Okay, so this actually happened last night. Not quite as exciting as the whole vacuum fiasco.
A few things are.
Okay, so we have a dog named Cobra Commander. He's 15 pounds.
Aww.
Adorable. He sleeps in bed with us. And normally, when I tell him it's bedtime, which he loves, he hops up his little stairs, gets into our bed, and just stays there while I brush my teeth, change, whatever I gotta do before I come to bed. Well, last night, instead, he decided to get into the trash in the bedroom and ate a Band-Aid and like a small piece of gauze that was attached to it, which I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, they'll poop it out.
Because, they eat stupid stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is this turned into a whole argument between me and my husband about whether a trash can does or does not belong in a bedroom.
Oh,
and
dang.
So I was like, he's like, why is there even a trash can in the bedroom? That makes no sense. And
I
I'm like,
had that same thought when you were telling this story.
I don't have no trash can in my bedroom.
You have a trash can in your bedroom?
No.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the bathroom.
I mean,
we
my
just-
bedroom is a trash can, but
know-
I don't have like
Okay, when we moved in
receptacle
together,
necessarily.
we
my
had
side
like
table.
a collection of 4 or 5 small trash cans when we moved in together. So I was like, well, I'll just put one in every room because that seems convenient.
Are they those mini
but
ones that are
no.
like this big? Those
They're
tiny
like-
little trash cans that are
13
like a
galloner?
foot tall. Yeah.
No, it's I see. It's like a
Yeah.
office
But
wastebasket.
This led into a whole argument about whether a trash can does or does not belong in the bedroom. And so, let me know what you
Great
think.
question.
I'm gonna say no.
Correct.
Because I think
There was cries from the audience when you said no. So I was like, oh!
A bedroom is a place of like is where you're supposed to
Refuge.
feel like peace and serenity, and if trash is the opposite of that.
It was under a table, if that makes it any better, like a little bedside table.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, okay.
It's on a table.
No,
No,
under.
under.
Oh, under the table.
You can't really see it.
I guess we kind of do have a small trash can adjacent to our bedroom. Somebody just gasped, like, oh, she said no, but now she's admitting it. Because my vanity, leads into our
convenient.
bathroom, and I do have a trash can under where the vanity is.
Ooh, interesting.
But to me, that's an extension of the bathroom and not the bedroom.
Very recently, I had not been into your bedroom until like this year, and we've been friends for a while. But I went in there when you were giving me your veil so I could wear it at my wedding. And I would say that your little alcove with the vanity, I think that is bedroom adjacent and not, I wouldn't necessarily consider that part of the bedroom.
Okay, thank you.
Because it has almost its own walkway to get into it. It has its own little lighting area. So I think you have a trash can in your vanity. It's not like you have one next to the bed.
No, I don't. No, we just
Some
use the floor.
pervert.
We just throw trash
Who's
on
just
the floor.
you just like finished eating the Cheetos and you're like,
Yeah.
I promise I'm not
my
gross.
drawer in my bedside table is my trash can.
Yeah, right.
'Cause that's where all my wrappers from my nighttime snacks go.
my night snacks.
I don't think a trash can belongs in the bedroom, so I'm going to have to rule in favor of your husband.
Yeah, you get you
I'm
one
so
with a metal
sorry.
lid. You can get one with like a little metal one with a lid. I had to get her for the goose. She eats everything. The things I've
He
Googled.
normally does it. And so it's like last night he was just like full of spite or something. I don't know.
He
Your
was
husband
like,
got
fuck
to
this
him.
trash can.
He's
Fuck
like,
this trash can in the bedroom.
Yeah, I guess.
Did you check that Band-Aid? Did your husband rub it with bacon grease or something? Is he behind this? Was he like,
I know-
tonight's the
I
night
know
we're getting
that it
this
was
trash
from a-
can out of this bedroom?
I know it was from a blood test I had.
Oh, dang. Well, maybe that's a sign
I
that you're like,
changed
you got to get rid of it now.
Yep. Okay.
I think you're right. I think
All
you're
right.
right.
Final ruling. No trash cans in the bedroom. Sorry, everybody who is on
Go
the
home.
opposite side of that. Yeah. We have time for one more. Who's got one more grievance? Back
Hear it.
there.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. From the depths, from the darkness, we can't see.
Yeah, I know. But that's okay.
What's your name and pronouns?
My name is Kimberly. My pronouns are she, her.
Hi, Kimberly.
I am a receptionist at a hospital. And so me and my coworker were working together one day. And it may remind you, I've only been there for 4 months. So it's a very new job. And so I caught on pretty quickly. And so I was sitting there, she answered the phone, and she's helping a patient or whatever, and I'm like listening in, and she's like, let me see what I can do for you. She kind of sounded confused, so I was like, okay. And I'm like, this person's here on every Saturday, just to let you know. I know this, thank you.
Oh, bitch.
I'm like,
She snapped that at you?
she snapped at me. Yeah. So we had this little grievance thing going on, and she cussed at me one day.
What was the cuss?
Please use the sentence.
You know, I don't. I honestly don't remember it. It was like.
Burned in
But
my
what
brain.
curse word was it?
Oh, it was like fucking.
Oh, like fucking. Like you're always
Was
asking
it
me
like
fucking questions.
you don't fucking know anything, or was it like
Basically,
these
yeah.
fucking patients?
Get out of
so
my
it was
fucking
like directed
chair.
at you.
Yeah, it was directly at me.
Damn.
So anyway, the one day we had no more patients for the day, and I was sitting there, and I was checking my phone real quick, like because we check our phones, and I was actually texting my cousin here, and so. Tell me why she decided to be spiteful and messaged my boss and let her know that I was texting on my phone.
She snitched.
I got called up to the the administration or whatever.
Dang.
You got called to the office.
Yeah, I did.
Like a
She
principal's
snitched
office.
you and sent
My
you to the office.
administration person.
This
was
is like you passing a note in class and somebody
I know.
tattletales and then you're in the principal's office.
To clarify, this is an adult working
my boss
job
called
and
me.
not grade school.
At a hospital.
my boss called me and I'm like, oh, I'm cool with them. And I'm like, oh, am I in trouble? She's like, yeah, kind of. I'm like, oh, shit. So I go upstairs and I explain what happened. And I don't know, like, well, do you think that was wrong of her to do that?
To rat you
she's
out?
like,
Yeah, it's a fucking
yeah,
asshole
because-
move. She sounds like
Sounds
an
like an
overall
I know,
nightmare.
yeah.
I know we're not allowed to be on our phones, but like, are you that petty though?
Yeah,
You know what I
she's
mean?
petty as fuck.
Sounds like she's very petty.
Also, I don't know you very well, but I love your voice.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel so calm right
I feel
now.
great. I feel like a million
My
bucks.
blood pressure has lowered.
Could you
since listening
record
to you.
yourself telling just about your day and just put it on YouTube so I can listen to it?
Yeah.
Okay,
And if I
guys.
worked
like
beside
ASMR.
you, I don't think I would be using curse words in your direction or snapping at you or ratting you for
No, you
things.
I'm
sound
a
like
very
a level-headed
angry
person.
I'm a very angry person.
I was going to say, I also don't know you well because the way you were talking, you're like, and then she snapped at me. And I was like, is she going to be like, so I went into the kitchen and found her soup. And I poisoned it.
But here's the thing.
But we were in the hospital, so she didn't die. So was that wrong? And it's like, well, you did it in the hospital.
So she was fine with being fake to my face. And so, like, I was kind of like, I don't want her to be, like, fake to my face. I was like, I don't want to do all that. So I decided to be the bigger person and send her an email apologizing and say, we're coworkers. Let's get
Dang,
along.
that's nice of you. Oh, God.
But next, you just poisoned
What
her.
happened? Did she reply?
I mean, she felt the same way, I guess, and now we're fine. But it's just like I just still feel some type of way towards her.
You can never feel. You can never be fine after somebody petty rats you out.
Yeah, that's
Nah.
yeah. That doesn't.
I'm a
How
grudge
you
holder.
living
Listen, I'm a
around
grudge
her.
holder. I remember shit people did to me in second grade, and I see them on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh, this happened to me," and I'm like, "I bet it fucking did happen to you." Do you remember what you did to me in 1994? Because I do. I remember it every time I see your face.
Got a
and
mind
that
like
was
a steel
1994.
trap.
So I think you're. I say hold the grudge. Be salty to her. If she asks you for a favor, switch shifts. Don't do it. Just be like, sorry, I'm busy. Sorry.
That's
Sorry, I'm going to be too busy texting to take your shift.
Alternatively, you could let go of the negative energy because it doesn't serve you
do
and
it.
focus on being happy. And,
What you do is fuel
know,
yourself. You take the rage that's within you and you achieve. You do more. You become the boss. You become the supervisor. You're the hospital administrator. And why? Why? Because one day you're the hospital administrator and her ass gets hauled in your office and you look her in the face and you go, we have a problem
your
with your
bitch now?
behavior. We have a problem with your behavior.
Yeah.
We're going to have to let you go.
Alternatively, you could also just go about your day and not give her, not worry about her
See,
anymore.
but I have to work
Not
with
give
her
her
a lot.
any
That's
of
the
your energy or
problem.
time.
I have to work
Zen
with her
out.
a lot.
Practice the Zen Buddhist. What's your book called?
Oh, it's The Dude in Zen. It's about Jeff Bridges and practicing
Yeah.
Zen. It's great. I love it. I use it for a lot of things, but I
Mostly a
harness
paperweight.
my rage. I am Zen about certain things, but sometimes you got to remember what they did to you, and then you use it. And then one day.
She'll get hers. There'll be a day where she needs you, and then
No, they
you
do
have
need me. That's the problem. It's like I'm the newest one there, and I have two other coworkers, and one's been there for like maybe almost 30 years.
God.
And they come to me
Hell
for
yeah.
everything. They're like, "How do you do this? How do you do that?"
Oh.
And like, I don't mind helping, but it gets on my nerves.
When she starts to whisper, I'm like, the soup skin poison. Duct tape y'all lunches. No, I think Christy's right. You know what? If it doesn't serve you, blah, blah, blah. But if it does fuel you into achieving more, then tap into the power.
Or you use your hate for good and rise to the top. And you end up owning the hospital. I don't even know if people can do that. I don't know who owns hospitals. Companies?
Sometimes they're publicly traded.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then you have some hope. Or maybe you can get transferred to another department.
Oh, hell no.
I don't know how hospitals.
No, I love my department.
She's staying.
Okay.
Don't let her run you out.
Oh, I'm
run
not.
her out.
But was she petty and wrong for doing that? Yeah, she sounds like a nightmare to work with.
Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit. I'm the youngest one there, so that's another problem.
Uh-oh. Well, see, it's never about the texting. She's
trick her.
jealous of you.
Teach her new, fun, young people slang words, but it's just words that you made up. And then she'll be at a party later, and she'll be like, oh, it's a real magpie day. And then you're there like, what? And she's like, the cool kids are saying it. And then she'll be ashamed. And she'll
See,
come to work.
that's a fun way to get her. Yeah, where you're like still getting her, but it's not like you're like poisoning her soup or anything like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yes.
Final ruling. We hope you own this hospital one day and have a magpie day to you and yours. Oh, you guys have been such an amazing
Phenomenal
audience.
night.
Thank you
What
so
a night.
much.
What a night.
We've had so much fun. Thank you so much to everybody that came out. Thank you so much to Hilarities. Everybody here has been so nice. They've been so good to us. So please be so good to them. If you are VIP, just hang out. They're going to tell you what to do. If not, then enjoy the rest of your night. We're going to enjoy ours. And as always, the devil rules the airwaves.
Keep it creepy.
Thank you guys so much.
We love providing Sinisterhood to you at no cost, so if you like what you hear, consider supporting the show by donating to our Patreon. We're a small operation, creating the show for you by researching, writing, recording, and producing it ourselves. Any amount is sincerely appreciated and helps offset the cost of making and hosting the show.
As a thank you, you'll also get some sweet perks like ad-free episodes, a Sinisterhood sticker, membership to our exclusive Patreon Facebook group for those enrolling the airwaves and getting into it tier, a special shout-out on the show, a monthly bonus mini-sode. In June, it's going to be an update on Murdoch, on Alec Murdoch and what's going on in South Carolina, and patron-exclusive video and audio content, including Am I the Asshole?, relationship advice, Judge Christie, Dear Sinister, true crime headlines, and so much more. And this week, you get a special bonus. Not only is it video footage of our time at the Ohio State Reformatory, but a full-ass HD video of this whole episode. So you can watch the facial expressions and the reactions we have to each other and what I looked like as I screamed about my vacuum cleaner. And the patrons in our Getting Into It tier are also able to vote on a bonus content segment each month they want to see us live stream. Our next live stream is on June 23rd at 8 p.m. Central. Getting Into It tier also gets to vote on one episode a month, and voting is underway for the episode that they're going to choose, and it's one of 3 cryptids.
You also have the fun perk of access to our Discord server, where you can connect with other fans in real time and discuss the latest in true crime, share personal ghost stories, or just post adorable pictures of your pets. We hop on occasionally, and we host monthly Q&As on Crowdcast, where you can ask us all your burning questions. Our next live Q&A is on June 22nd at 8 p.m. Central.
For patrons not in the U.S., you have the option to pay in pounds or euros, saving you the cost of the conversion fee. Annual memberships for all tiers are also now available. Those that select this option will be rewarded with a free month of membership.
For more details on all of this and specific member tiers, visit Sinisterhood.com and click Patreon on the top banner. And make sure you stick around after our sign-offs to hear your shout-out.
So many of you have been tagging us in pictures of you sporting your sweet Sinisterhood merch. Keep those pictures coming. If you want to get some cool Sinisterhood swag like t-shirts, mugs, totes, and even clothes for your kiddos, visit Sinisterhood.com and click on Shop on the top banner.
The best thing you can do to help us grow is like, review, and follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please tell a friend who you think would like us to check us out. It means so much to us and helps podcasts like us get more exposure. You can also click those 3 little buttons in the top right hand and share any episode with someone that you think would like it.
And go to sinisterhood.com/playlist. We have playlists organized by topic, so you can get the funniest episodes, the cryptid episodes, true crime episodes, things like that. So if you have a friend that only likes a certain type of topic we cover, don't worry. We got a playlist for that. And you can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SinisterhoodPod and like us on Facebook at Sinisterhood. We're also on YouTube and TikTok. Christy, where are you at on the computer?
I am on Twitter and TikTok at Christy or GTFO, and I'm on Instagram at Christy M. Wallace. Heather?
I'm on Twitter at MCK versus the world, and I'm on TikTok and Instagram at Heather versus the world.
As always, the devil rules the airwaves.
Keep it creepy. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Here are your special Patreon shout-outs. Jessica Tarrant Chavers.
Melanie McIntyre.
Leandra Ventura.
Sierra Bretz.
Taylor Johnson.
Brittany Wright.
Jenna G.
Logan H.
Christy Noon.
Catherine Enoch.
Stephanie Persephone.
Sparrow Richards.
Lids.
Amanda.
Bridget.
And Carrie Riley. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. We could not do this without you. We hope we pronounce your names correctly. We love all of you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep it creepy.
Bah ha ha ha.
Sinisterhood.